Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new edition of the Hockey Happy Hour, live from the Real Talk Studios here in Mount from New Jersey. Matt Sassuti, the Penguin Munching, Michael Klankoff.
What's up?
The Great Denson, Dean Sensi.
What's going on?
And the Darkwing, Brian Daly.
What up?
And behind the board is the sign guy, Mr. Ryan Rodo. And we are brought to you by Gibson Mayer LLC, your certified public accounts located at 301 Oxford Valley Road in Yardley, PA. Give them a call, 215-369-3300. Tax season will be back before you know it, so be ready, be prepared, and call Gibson Mayer. So, guys, we did the Western Conference last week.
Damn, that was a long time ago.
We did do it last year, though. We did.
Hell of a show. That was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. And we actually thought that, certain people would win their division, and they didn't win their division. But, oh, well, it is what it is, right?
It is what it is.
Anyway, last week we did the Western Conference. This week we're doing the Western Conference. We are also looking at the Flyers preseason game currently in the second period between Boston and Philly right now. The Flyers and the Bruins are knotted up at 1 apiece currently. However, that could change at the drop of a dime. Anyway, so, gentlemen, besides us predicting the Eastern Conference this week, which is a absolutely horrific experience.
It was a nightmare trying to make this, especially for the Metro Division. I think the Atlantic's a little bit easier.
Yes. Yes.
To me, it's definitely easier. Let's just say that. Let's be real.
I have a little bit more trouble with the Pacific or the Atlantic than
really
the Metro. Yeah.
Interesting.
No, not at all.
I'm like, okay, so there's realistically like 6 teams in the Metro that I could see. Actually,
7 almost.
7.
When you think about
there's
it.
borderline 7 teams in the Metro that could potentially be fighting for a playoff spot this year, and it's crazy.
And you watch.
I don't see that. Let's just be real. Detroit and Ottawa, I could tell you right now, they're out.
Oh yeah,
You got at least 5 in the Atlantic that could potentially make the
Atlantic
playoffs.
has good teams too, but
it has good teams. But the real question is, can they compete with the top teams? That's the real issue that they're running into, and a lot of times they can't.
No,
but
that is their issue.
So, before we dive into our Eastern Conference predictions, we got some big things to talk about, obviously, that happened in between the shows, and that is that Travis Konecny finally got signed to the Philadelphia Flyers. He, too, is now locked into Philadelphia for 6 years, and the Flyers almost scored on a stuff attempt, but it did not go. Either way, Travis Konecny is back with the Flyers. He did miss a good portion of training camp, and now, of course, we're going into the preseason.
I think he's fine.
It's tough
to
miss it, but you know what? Konecny will shake off the rust. He'll be fine.
They're expecting him. He was in practice today.
Yeah,
I was up at the skate zone watching him today.
TK was also training back at home anyway.
Yeah,
so
it's not like he wasn't doing anything.
He doesn't look like he's missed a step at all. He hung out a little bit after practice and was shooting around with Kevin Hayes and Travis Sanheim. He's expected to play Saturday against the Rangers. I'm not worried.
Yeah, I wouldn't be worried at all. I mean, again,
now that's
the best part is I like the contract.
Yeah,
I think it's a healthy contract.
Now, some people are not thrilled with the contract. From what
I've heard, there are always people
that
aren't thrilled with anything in Philadelphia.
My question is what do you want do you expect him to just accept 6 years for what? 20 mil and then that's it? I'm like, no, you're not going to do that. That would be absolute highway freaking daylight robbery if you did that, because you're getting him completely cheap then.
Yeah.
Well,
I think they got him. I think
they still got him fairly cheap.
Yeah, it was still fairly good. It's just
looking at a guy who's coming off of 48 goals in the last 2 years, and he's got huge potential to be a 30, 35 goal scorer in this league. And you're only going to pay him, 2.25 for the next 6 years? That's a steal.
Yeah.
It's a steal. Yeah, he hasn't proven anything yet, but
he's young.
He's very young. He's only, 23, 24?
Yeah.
It's just coming into his prime.
Yeah.
He's going to take off, and the Flyers are going to have him at a huge discount.
Absolutely. The problem is that, a lot of the people, and I don't understand why, in the fan base, they constantly harp on, is he really worth it? It'd be like, you're judging someone based on his rookie contract. You're not going to be able to just do that. It's not like Connor McDavid or fucking Austin Matthews.
Mitch Marner.
Or Sidney Crosby or Ovechkin, Mitch Marner or whatever.
Good defensive play by Myers.
And Boston just went up 2-1.
Well, I just keep my mouth shut.
It is what it is.
So much for that.
Although that wasn't Myers. That wasn't Myers' fault. I don't know who's playing on Myers pairing with him, but
Vigneault's trying to figure that one out too.
He's like,
who
are you? What's your
name,
kid?
Yeah. He was like, I need to know who I'm
Flyers
yelling
caught
at.
a line change. It looked like Myers. Myers was right there.
Ooh.
That was just a really good pass.
What happened was it was a great turnaround dish, and it came from Gaunce here. Swung it back around, and he found.
That was just a good play.
Yeah, and he found, I believe it was Pasternak he got it to.
No, I don't think that was Pasternak.
That wasn't? Oh, okay. Yeah, either way.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to jump on to some of these comments while they're coming in.
They almost came right back again. I don't even know how to say his name. Celeric?
I'm going to say
celery.
Let's go with Celeric. Let's go with Celeric. I'm going to assume that's a Polish name. Anyway, go on.
Trevor Harris says, "What's up, fellas? What's up, Trevor? What's going on,
Trev?
Rob Hovia, Pove. Said Niskanen goal was just too sweet. # top shelf.
Yep, absolutely.
It was true. It was a really nice shot. Andy Ritter, who you can catch on in this very ring on Sunday, late afternoon, 5 o'clock, I believe, right, Andy? He says, yo, have a great show, boys. # early talk.
Hell yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than actually being able to talk about a game, be here early.
Mm-hmm.
They were driving down here. There was light outside, you know. I mean,
yeah, it was great.
Doesn't get any better. Chrome, we miss you, but, I mean, come on, man. I could dig this.
Rob Brakeman, who you can join on Sports Sounds on Monday nights at 8 o'clock, only here on ATD Radio. Agree with the poll. Carter Hart is the real deal. Love the offseason. Charles Moran and Chucks. Our boy Chucks here. You can catch on Birds of a Feather on Tuesdays at 8 o'clock. Yo, gentlemen, I might be a football nut, but I still love my Flyers hockey. I'm very excited and actually a bit hopeful for this season.
I mean,
I would be hopeful.
Yeah, you should absolutely be hopeful. I mean, don't let our division scare you off here. Yeah, our division is
I'm hopeful.
Listen,
my team is
an absolute nightmare,
in shambles right now, and I'm still hopeful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be. I mean, you can't quit on the team early. I mean, personally, I think Philadelphia is going to exceed expectations this year. I mean, they have one of the best goaltenders. It's really – I don't want to get into our standings or anything, but, like, they realistically have a pretty good goaltending tandem, which helps a lot. And obviously Carter Hart's going to be the main starter for a full season. That's what's going to help a lot, is that he's going to be here for a full season.
It's going to be huge.
Yep.
And, you know, already in preseason he's looking pretty damn good. So, I mean, plus he's got 3 new defensemen in front of him,
all of which are
veteran
right-handed.
defensemen. And it's
big thing is that they're veterans, but they're also 3 right-handed guys on each pairing.
They made moves. They made moves in places that they needed to. So, I mean, to me, realistically, I mean, they actually went out and did what they had to do this offseason, and, you know, they're a team to look out for. So.
Oh, I mean, they are one of the many teams that are to look out for right now in the Metropolitan Division.
But breaking it down, though, realistically, look at the goaltending in the Metro. You probably have Holtby 1, Carter Hart probably number 2.
Well, I mean, when you look at
possibly right now, maybe you can even put Lundqvist at 2 still.
Let's look at all of the division
with
here.
teams around them. I would say bad team, great goalie.
But,
if he was on Washington or in Philly with the defense in front of him, he would be a better goaltender.
When you look at the situation here, I mean, just look at the goaltending. Columbus, it doesn't matter because they lost their goalie.
Yeah.
New Jersey has possibly Schneider. Depends
how he feels like playing.
Yeah.
And possibly
are we getting
Blackwood.
Vancouver
And
Schneider, or
Blackwood.
are we getting broken ice, you know, glass, whatever you want to call him?
Mr. Glassbones and paper
You
skin.
shall see. We don't know.
Yeah. And then, you know, Carolina, their goaltending situation's a little different. I mean,
they didn't really help. That was their big issue to me was like a solid goaltender. I mean, they played well all throughout the season, getting into the playoffs, but to me, goaltending is their biggest need. They don't have Mrazek?
Yeah, they
So-
have
Peter
Mrazek.
Mrazek.
I mean, to me, it's
And
not.
McElhinney?
Is that who it is?
I think
McElhinney?
McElhinney was their backup, to be honest.
Yeah, I
with
mean,
you.
to me, that's not a good goaltending tandem for a team that
could-
has high expectations.
It could be
so.
worse.
Well, yeah, it could be the Devils. True, you're not wrong.
It could be Columbus.
That
But,
too.
yeah, they had a goalie, and then he just said, I don't like you guys, so I'm leaving. I'm fucking off to Sunrise.
Do you
So-
blame
Him
him?
and Artemi went, we're out.
Yeah.
Out the door.
And Duchesne, who else left? Everybody left.
Duchesne wasn't going to stay anyway.
No, he wasn't going to, but I mean, still, he was still part of the
Wingles
team.
left, didn't he?
Who?
Wingles.
Oh,
Dzingel, not Wingles.
Dzingel,
Yeah.
yeah. Dzingel, yeah.
Dzingel
Wingles
left,
still
yes.
Florida. My bad.
Dzingle's
Yeah.
in Carolina now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. I mean, the Rangers obviously have Lundqvist. Can he pull off a performance of when he was younger? Who knows? Islanders, they have who again?
Varlamov.
Islanders have Varlamov now.
Varlamov, that's
Yeah.
right. They have Varlamov. And then Pittsburgh still has Murray. And then Washington, of course, has Holtby. And we have Hart. And that's pretty much it right there. So, yeah, it's a very interesting division of goaltending, really, at the end of the day. Whereas if you go to the Atlantic Division, you have a few teams that already have their goalie pretty much in place. You have Toronto has Freddie Anderson. Tampa Bay has Vasilevsky. Boston has Tuukka. You know, Florida has Bobrovsky, the very goalie that left Columbus and said, fuck you. The only
Again, do you blame him?
Who
No.
we missing?
They did not
But
respect
when
him
you
at
look at
all.
Because then when you look at it, and Montreal has Carey Price. So, but the three teams that I did not mention there are the three teams that have no goaltending, which is Buffalo, Detroit, and Ottawa, when you get right down to it.
But
And
when you're
Well,
starting
Ottawa has
goaltender
Craig
is
Anderson,
Jonathan
but-
Bernier.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
A career backup.
yeah.
you
Well,
know.
That's
what do
in
you mean?
Detroit.
He contributed a lot to the, you know.
No, when he was with the Kings.
Yeah, he contributed
He
tons
did,
to
I
them.
mean, he's a good backup. He's not a starter.
No, but that's the
He's
thing.
a
He
fringe
got
starter,
he
is
got
the
a
best way to
starting
put it.
role, and once he got that starting role, he realized that I'm not a starter.
kind of like Cam Talbot.
Cam
But
Talbot,
anyway.
exactly.
We're going to jump back into some of these comments here. We got Tom Arnone saying, "What's up, boys?" To the
Yo.
poll, I agree.
Oh, yes, and the
Frank
poll.
Vesby.
Oh, hold on, before you continue. Poll question.
John Cena!
The poll question that we had asked on the Twitter and everything else that you can also see on Facebook Live and answer is, will the Flyers make it to the playoffs? That's the real question that's going to be asked. So,
They're definitely going to be contending for a playoff spot.
Well,
just like 3/4 of the entire division.
pretty much.
But
yeah.
the
We
real
have
thing
one of
is,
the
dude-
worst
Well,
divisions
pretty much
in
the
world.
entire conference.
Yeah, I mean-
minus like 3 teams.
But the real
Two
question:
teams.
do they have a chance to win the Eastern Conference?
Well, I mean, if they have a
No.
chance to win the Eastern Conference, that's a big question. That's a, let me tell you right now, man. If the Flyers managed to pull that off, then I would be like, damn, Carter Hart had himself a Vezina year. That's the only way that shit happens at the
Or
end
you
of
guys
the
ju-
day.
Well, everybody's
Or-
also got to play well in
Well,
front
it's
of
either
the
that
team.
or the Flyers outscored every team in the league.
Which we all know that ain't happening. I mean, come on.
It can happen. The Flyers have great offense. They
They
just
have-
pass too much.
They have great offense. Well, you are right. They do pass way too much. But the thing is, it's like, yes, we have a great offense, but it's like, come on now. We're not on Tampa Bay levels offense here. Let's calm that down for about 2 seconds, you know? But it doesn't really matter. You don't have to have a Tampa Bay offense. Tampa Bay had a great offense during the regular season. Shit disappeared in the playoffs last year. So who the fuck cares if you have a great regular season?
Yeah.
Anyway.
I got a couple comments on YouTube I want to get to as well. Rosca's just naming hockey teams.
Of course he is.
He's got Florida Panthers, Tampa Bay Lightning, Montreal Canadiens. The Florida Panthers are going to have a great start this season. We got Tyrone Dixon saying, hello, what's up, boys? Hey, dude, what up? First, even though the guy chatted, but it was an hour ago, so me first. Hello, can I get a shout out? This is all what, Tyrone Dixon's saying. So, Tyrone Dixon, there's your shout out.
What's up, Tyrone?
Huh? Yeah, for real. I mean, he was. I kind of felt bad. I had to get on YouTube, but Tyrone was kind of talking to himself. So we're here to talk with you now, buddy. All right. And Rob chiming in also saying, same thing he said on the book. So
We're gonna jump back over here to Facebook. We got Frank Vesby.
John Cena!
We had a double take.
Saying, hey, yo, sorry to bother you, hashtag Mikey Munchin and the hashtag Banana Heads with the side of hashtag Ryan's Jello at work. To answer the poll, disagree. They are still a wild card team at best, but not a conference contender. Charles Chucks Miranda says, TK, let's go. Brinkman says, I love TK, great signing. Who do you think he gets paired with in terms of line mates? I think it's pretty simple. I think he's on that first line.
Easily, hands down.
I could see that happening. If not, then he's definitely second.
Yeah,
He's
he's-
gonna be with
no further than
Coots,
second.
probably
Yeah.
Coots and Giroux,
Yeah.
and that'll be that first line.
I could see that happening because you know what? I could see them moving Jake down to the second line. I could
Put
see
Jake
that
on the
happening.
second line
it's
with
more depth, which
possibly-
is good.
Yeah,
You
yes.
don't want all your power on the first line.
No, which
you
has
know?
been one of the big issues with the Flyers is that their power was always in the first line and then their power
it's-
play.
yeah, I mean,
and then
it's-
after that, there was nothing
Well,
because,
Yeah, that was the issue. I mean, it was repetitive last year about secondary scoring, and they
Yeah.
didn't have that, which, I mean, they worked on some of that this offseason. So.
yes, which, I mean, you fix that and you make it better, and the net just flew right off the moorings. But anyway,
because Justin Braun got thrown right into it.
Poor guy.
Well, that wasn't Justin Braun. That was
that guy.
Jaworski.
yeah, young guy.
He's definitely Polish.
No, not at all.
We got Chuck's chiming in saying with the contract, TK needs to be a 25 to 30 goal scorer. It's time for him to really shine. He's already on that borderline.
I don't disagree. But, yeah, I think he'll be fine. I don't see him not contributing offensively to the team. I'm not worried
Call a
about
penalty
that.
on that?
God, I hope not. Be
Did
honest.
they call a penalty?
I think it's on.
No.
No.
I was going to say, it didn't look illegal to me.
I was going to say that.
Yeah.
looked
I
like
looked down
clean
for a
hit,
second.
just-
I looked up and they were showing the referee. It looked like he was scoring.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
I
looked like
was
he was
thinking, like-
pointing. He was like walking over to the
Yeah.
box.
Right.
Guy,
Uh,
so, NBC's Philly, don't zoom in on a ref. We're going to
Speaking
automatically
of-
assume it's a penalty.
Speaking of Raska, he just named another team that's going to have a really good start.
What?
Anaheim Ducks are going to come out and have a really great start.
Yes, they are.
Just like they
Totally.
did last season, Roska.
And the year
Yeah.
before that, and the year before that, and the year before that.
Well, I mean, to be fair, when you were saying that they did have good starts in those years, except last
Raska,
year.
I hate to tell you, buddy, not everybody can have a great start.
No, someone's going to stumble.
Somebody's got to lose these games, right?
Of course. You can't. We're not just playing a bunch of European scrub teams that,
Everybody wins.
Yeah, everybody gets to win. It's like an Oprah Winfrey moment for
Yeah.
the NHL. You
get
get
a
to
car.
win, and you get to win.
Chuck says, I love the contract, by the way. Not saying I don't, just saying that I want to see him take the next step. He's already taken the next step, Chucks, man.
Yeah, he will. It's no big worry. I mean, I'm perfectly fine with the contract. I don't mind the 33 mil. Really, I don't think it's a big deal. I think that some people who are jumping off of the deep end, I think that they're just looking at it from the angle of, oh, well, he hasn't done anything. He hasn't earned it. I'm like, the man won a game for us in the postseason in a series that we pretty much looked like we were we were fucked in against the Pittsburgh Penguins in Game 2. What more do you want from the guy? The man has done nothing but contribute to the offense.
Okay, let's see what else we got here. Rob Brinkman, who's G going to play with?
Well, I think we were saying
Coots and
Konecny and Coots, which would be
solid first
great, which would be a great first line because Coots is absolutely it has. Look at Coots, man. I mean, think about it.
Drew's got a 100-point year as a left winger. So
Yeah, which is, I think that's
They took
that's,
some of the responsibility off him, and he just focused on his game.
yeah, that and also the fact that I believe he is a natural winger, not a natural center, which is why it helps him in a lot of ways.
No,
Which
I agree.
which
But it
you know.
also helps having someone else that can get into the circle.
Oh,
day.
absolutely. And Coots is is really great at that because he's a really strong two-way player.
Also, TK was pretty decent on the in the circle last season.
Yes.
too. I think
Yes,
he
he
was
was.
like 45%, which is actually not bad for a young guy.
For a young guy, yeah.
No, not at all. His stats absolutely back up how he does a lot of the things that people forget. He does them very well because everybody really just focuses on the goals and the points and everything. It's like, okay, but how does he play on the ice? Is he turning the puck over? Is he allowing, bad breakdowns offensively? Does he make bad passes? Like those are the things you should also look at. Not just the sexy stats, not just the goals and the assists that everybody likes to jump on board on.
speaking of potential sexiness for the Flyers,
Oh,
Chuck says, by the way,
me?
no, I said for the Flyers.
Other side of Keystone State is
sorry.
yeah.
Chuck says, by the way, speaking of goalies, I've been hearing that Sandstrom has been tearing it up too. Hart and him are going to make a great tandem for the future.
Yeah, I have been hearing really great things from Felix Sandstrom. Haven't seen him at all during this preseason. Just seen Lyon and just seen Elliott. But, hey, you know what? If he can eventually become a major player with Carter Hart, hey, we have ourselves a really great backup. Maybe even if worse comes to worse, have a tandem. But really, I don't think it's going to come to that. Hart's going to be the real deal for us for a while.
Big
Agree.
time. Absolutely, big time.
Yeah, absolutely. Bill Middlebrook, chiming in. What's up, Bill?
Hey, Bill.
Hey, Bill.
He says, I agree to the poll, but need a lot of scoring, and Tampa Bay Lightning is a problem. I'm hoping a few more moves like I told you guys before. It's been 42 years for me. I was 7 years old. Let's go. He also goes on to say, have a good show.
Yep. I mean, look at it this way, though. And I say this, and thank you for the good show. Look at it this way, though. Tampa has all that scoring, and they still got swept by Columbus. So, really, at the end of the day.
That's the other thing. All these
yeah.
teams are expecting them to do it again, so they're going to play much harder against Tampa. I don't think Tampa's going to have that great of a year this year compared to last season.
Probably not. I don't think they're going to be breaking records like they did last year. So
What now?
Nothing. Rob Lutman saying,
I'm
what's
just
up, fellas? What's up, Rob?
Hey, Rob.
And then we got Greg Malakovic chiming in saying, what's up, boys?
Hey, Greg.
Fun time at camp today with Brian. That's me.
That's you.
That's me. I got a special shout out.
Yeah.
So
He
proud.
says, I'll agree to the poll more or less just because I want to believe. Let's go.
Hey, man. That's
Hey,
what
man,
we gotta do.
never quit, right?
No, never quit on your
Especially
team.
2 weeks into a preseason.
Hey, man,
Right.
we are a fan base that believes because that's all we can do at the end of the day. We can't all be lucky and stumble into a superstar talent that saves a franchise from being sold to freaking Vegas, of all places. But anyway,
Vegas.
All right. So that's it. That's all I got on
Vegas,
comments right
Oklahoma.
now.
It was one of those damn places that they were threatening to move the Penguins to at one point. Anyway, keep
Kansas
on going.
City.
Oh, they were going to try and bring back the Scouts because that was such a brilliant idea.
Kansas City
Tell us all
was,
about that one there,
No.
Dean.
I
Yeah.
already did it once. I'm not doing it
Yeah,
again.
anyway, go on.
That's all I got for now, brother.
I got
All right.
93 Odushkin
Odushkin. Okay, I like
on,
that.
on YouTube say, what's up? Bye. So,
What's up?
so
Later.
Well,
Bye.
Bill Motorbook chiming in saying nobody thought the Bruins would lose, but they did, so you never know.
Hey, that's true, man. That is very, very true. I mean, especially when they won Game 6 and the way they won Game 6 against St. Louis, I thought, oh, crap,
Not
here we
again.
go. Boston's going to win the Stanley Cup, and the Flyers, check just got thrown into the box for something. Hook. Yep, it is a hook.
Going for the
Clear as
hand,
day. Not even trying to disguise it. He didn't even go for the stick. He really just went right on the glove.
And he went back for a second swipe. Too.
Yeah, he went back to try it again.
Oh, you call him for slashing. I got
Sla-
a must have got him on the
that
second.
wasn't a slash, but okay,
To be fair, he
whatever.
went like this, and then he went like this.
Yeah, but
they caught him. He did.
it
slash
doesn't
him.
matter. He did something wrong, so
He did a no-no.
yeah.
Losing the puck, chopping
All right.
people's hands off,
Let's
you
get
know?
to these breakdowns.
All right then.
Oh,
So
the torture has begun.
all right, so we've been
Nice and
sledding
relaxing
a-
one for me this week.
we've been sledding around the issue because unfortunately the big old elephant, the Eastern Conference predictions, and we're going to continue sledding around the issue because we're going to hit the Atlantic Division
Hey, look.
first.
Look, Flyers are 7 for 7 on the penalty kill so far.
Well,
Gee,
you
I wonder
said-
who's got.
You said something, so.
Yeah.
But also, let's keep in
Ooh.
mind this is preseason.
Yeah, but you know, Mike Yaz already
Regular
making his
season
impression.
starts at.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
right.
I'm not really all that concerned about that stat right now until the regular season begins. But it's nice to see that
No,
the
but it's
young
nice to
ones-
see that they're
loose.
What?
they're
What
taking
an
in what
effort.
Mike Yaz telling them on the penalty kill,
Yes, yes, that's good news.
and it also helps having Niskanen and Justin Braun. You
Yes.
know, that helps a
Adding
lot.
To that. Yep, absolutely. But and so far, I would say goaltending wise, I would say Elliott, he's shaking off some rust here and there. I mean, he had a bit of an odd year last year, getting injured, and the Flyers literally having 50 million goalies at one point.
As always.
Yeah.
Would they start 8 last year?
I think it was. I think they broke the record. And then, ironically enough, the coach of the Flyers at the time, Scott Gordon, was a part of the original team that set that record in the 7 that were started by the Quebec Nordiques.
He said
So-
we're gonna break it this year.
Yeah, he wanted to break the record that his old team set many years ago. I'm sure that's what his goal was when he took over the team from Dave Haxtell. Oh, and Giroux is playing tonight, which is an interesting note.
Yeah,
Which
most of the top guys are playing tonight.
It's a little early, I would say, but it's interesting to see when they play. But you know what? They probably did it because they're not really playing
Also
another
remember,
game in
the
Philly.
preseason
for a
games,
while.
the players also vote if they want the player or not.
That's true, yeah. So far, haven't seen Hart. We might see him probably next week.
I thought they have a split.
Well,
split
there's
Yeah,
only
he played,
split
I
squad
think, a
game.
period and a half or something.
Oh, okay.
Alright,
Was that?
yeah.
It must have been against the Islanders.
Also, Flyers have a split squad games coming up
Oh,
later,
okay,
so.
and that's probably what he was playing.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall though, he hasn't had a full tilt
Yeah.
completely under his belt on that one. So
But that's okay.
yeah, that's fine. You know, if
Right.
he'll probably wind up getting one maybe next week, and that'll get him ready for the eventual game in Prague.
He's probably going to get the last preseason game.
Yeah,
by far,
probably,
easily.
which is against the Rangers, I believe, in Madison Square
Yeah,
Garden.
which I
Yeah.
think is 29th,
Yes,
Yes.
yes, it is.
something like that.
So
Did you have any starters playing for you guys for the Ducks or anything?
I don't know. I honestly haven't really had a chance to really look to see who they
Ooh,
got.
what a save.
I
That
know
was a good
Adam
save.
Henrique played the last game, and that's about all I know off the top of my head.
And then what about I hear it. Anyway. But
They have returned.
yeah, but what about but what about you?
Oh, here's the best.
There's
the best
Gritty.
flyer. There's
the best,
Gritty.
the best player on the team. Good old Gritty.
Yeah. If it wasn't for him,
The star
I
of
don't
the
know- I don't know
show.
where they'd be.
Seeing whenever I played
It's-
NHL 20, the beta, he kept on going through the boards. Like he was actually trying
They
to help
had a
the team.
glitch.
Yeah.
They had a glitch of him going on the ice. They need
I
to
don't blame
actually.
him.
Well, you can play with him in a child.
Yeah, you can like
Mode
the
now,
outdoor,
too,
right?
yeah.
Which is pretty funny.
But anyway, so
Let's get the torture starting.
all right, so we're gonna sled around the Metropolitan Division until the last minute. We are going to hit the Atlantic Division to start things off with, which was
Makes
a
sense.
hell of a lot easier than
For
the
three of
Metropolitan.
us
Save our
anyway.
division for last.
Yeah. All right, so let's get this one going. I'll kick it off.
Starting from the bottom.
Say it together now. The
Ottawa
Ottawa
Senators.
Senators. Yes.
Unanimous decision.
It's
correct,
a pretty
Brian?
straightforward one right there. Unless you want
Although they
buck the
did sign
trend.
Thomas Chabot to that 8-year,
They did.
$8 million per
Anybody
deal.
want to say that the Provorov contract is still bad?
That's what
Yeah.
I was
He's
saying
a
to him on the
better-
way.
He's a better
I-
defenseman than
I
Shabbat.
said that
Shabbat's getting $8 million a
They
year.
probably had to meet like a minimum cap like Arizona used to.
Yeah.
Boy, I'll tell you though, Chabot though, give that man credit. He happened to be on a really shitty team at the right
And
time
listen,
to make a ton of money.
And he also
If he-
played well, too, on a bad team. He actually tried. Unless
Listen,
the rest
I'm
of the
not
team.
sitting here saying that he's a bad player, that
No,
he
he's
doesn't
a great
deserve the
player.
He's a
contract.
great
He's a
player.
good player. Provorov is better, and he's making less money.
Oh, yeah,
so
that's true.
that should help
On a better
Well,
team.
well,
too.
that-
make you feel better about the Provorov
you think,
contract.
you think Provorov? I hope he's not thinking this. And now you'd be like, damn, I should have requested a trade to Ottawa. I got paid a shit
Man,
ton
I
of
coulda-
money.
I
out
probably
there.
coulda got my $10 million.
Yeah.
All about the Benjamins, man. That's
yeah.
all it'd be for.
Plus,
so.
also they do have Matthew Tkachuk for building a team around at that time. So
Yeah.
that will slowly start to kick in. But for Ottawa, it's another tank. Let
Another-
them roll on down the highway
60,
for Ottawa.
64, 65-point season for those guys.
Yeah,
I got him at a measly about 67.
I got him at
So.
66.
All right, so
There's no hope for them.
No, and I
No.
see why you did 66, being a devil and everything like that. You
Would
couldn't
be
add the
six.
third,
But-
on
you
the
know.
6th hour of the
On-
6th day.
Yeah,
But on the high note, they're not the worst team in the East for me.
you're gonna give
Ah,
that
like-
to what? You're gonna give that to somebody else?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely the worst team in the East.
They
man.
are completely the worst team in the East. All right. Anyway, they're gonna
aside
get.
from Brady Kachuk, they got nothing.
They are getting the
Thomas
wooden.
Chabot, that's
they
it.
are going to get the wooden spoon for this freaking year. Like these guys have no way in hell of being good this year. All right, on to
Just a couple years ago, they made the Eastern
They were
Conference Finals.
literally
And then-
and lost in double
and
overtime.
and then Chris Kunitz, the man who single-handedly killed the Ottawa Senators,
Ruined the
by
whole
scoring
franchise. Let's
an
go.
OT goal in
Let's go.
overtime.
He did that. Like, it's so funny to
Oh my God,
I,
it's so
I still feel
hilarious.
bad for Craig Anderson now.
Yeah, poor Anderson.
I just like his face made me upset, honestly.
Poor Anderson.
But like every once in a while I'll just go back and just watch
I know.
that goal because
Which makes you say
gives
for
me the
every-
butterflies, man.
Which makes you also then say to the Penguins, you really had to fucking be pricks and beat the poor man whose wife has cancer
I
right
know.
now, you sons of bitches. You couldn't just let Ottawa beat you in Game 7.
Nah.
You came back the following year and won the damn thing, so why does it matter? Actually,
that was the last.
no,
year.
that
Yeah,
was
'cause we
last
played
year.
Nashville.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. You already had one. Whoops. All right.
We want
Anyway.
more.
got to get as many as you can.
Yeah, that's true, right?
Next on the bad list. Here we go.
I think this is also another unanimous decision.
All together now, the
Detroit
Detroit Red
Red
Wings. All right.
I'm not getting involved in that.
No?
But
No.
you do have them
But you
down
do
there.
agree with us, correct?
I do agree with you.
All right.
They're not even going to break 80. They're going to have 79 points this year.
I have them at 74, so
I also have a 74.
I'm also, you know.
Let's be honest here. The Red Wings they're building just as much as Ottawa is. They have Antonisiu and they have Dylan Larkin.
Anthony Mantha.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it. They got nothing else after that.
And
I
they
think
lost.
Jonathan
And they
Bernier
lost.
could help him in net, but it's not going to
They also lost Mrazek. So
well, that's the greatest loss of all time for them, really,
Well,
at
that's
the end
12
of the
years
day.
ago.
Yeah,
you
that
know?
was third.
he was actually
Jimmy
decent
Howard.
on Detroit. That's the
Jimmy
thing.
Howard that
Yeah.
they lost.
But yeah,
Pretty sure he's
I
out of
would
there
say
I
Mrazek.
think so, too. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I think he's gone.
But anyway, yeah. So for Detroit, yeah, it's let
Yeah,
the
it's
tanks continue to roll
definitely
down.
not
They're
the
hitting
Rock
the Motor
City
City too.
I
All
believe,
right.
I believe
They
this is
just-
when
they
we'll-
have two other young players that they just got in the draft. I can't remember their names that are really, really good. That's going to help.
Suzuki.
It
No,
is, but they're
that was Montreal.
but you know they're the
Well, they got.
they're the difference between a retool. The difference between a retool is you're still capable of
Russian
competing.
player. I can't think of his
As
name.
for the Red Wings, they're a perfect example of no, we fucking rebuilt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we ain't got nothing here.
But Ottawa thinks they can compete. That's the funny part about it.
Well, you know they have a team, so you know. All right, on to number 6.
I think this is when we all
we
start
might
to be
we might
different.
differentiate here, but I put the Buffalo Sabres down here.
I'm there.
Same. Okay.
Kudos. Oh, we're all the same.
All right, so yeah, the Sabres, let's be honest here, they still have no goalie, and their defense is suspect. So
And as soon as Ristolainen gets traded, it's going to get even more so.
which is even worse, yeah. So when you get right down to it, boy, I'll tell you, Buffalo, you talk about a half-ass rebuild. That's a half-ass rebuild if I've ever seen one for a team that
Looks
has
like a
not
Ford.
been able to make the postseason since they've been trying to fix it. Penalty was called on the game, and it got called on the Flyers for a high stick.
No, it was definitely on
No, it's on.
Boston.
It's on.
Boom! Oh, never mind. No, it is on Boston. It's weird. They put the camera straight down on the Flyers, and like they were upset. And I'm like,
Look at that whack.
They
Yeah.
probably thought it was. He probably got 2 instead of 4.
that's
Yeah,
probably
I
what it
think
was.
that-
Yeah.
I think that's what they were upset about.
Well, he's not bleeding, so that's why he probably didn't get 4. That's usually the
Turn
moment.
your head. We can't see your lips.
trying to see it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he is kind of bleeding. Never mind. All right, it's hard to see from that angle, but
As long
yeah.
as the refs aren't fucking
But
up.
also remember, this season we're going to start doing reviews for specifically stuff like that to differentiate 2 to 4.
Yes, because let's slow down the game even more.
Also, to see if.
Anyway.
But that's with everything. They're slowing down the game with
Yeah.
everything.
I
mean,
know.
Literally, like the last 10 minutes of or not even 10 minutes. The last 3 minutes of a football game is 40 minutes now.
Oh, yeah.
Basketball,
'cause
don't even start
let-
there
let's-
because you're there all night.
Let's be honest. Like, we went off the air. The Thursday night football game still going on,
Oh,
which
my
was
God.
not a good game, by the way, in
Yeah.
case anybody's wondering. And it was, I think, Carolina and Jacksonville, and it literally didn't change from 3 minutes for
Yeah, it
like
was
a
the
good
Bucks.
5 minutes.
Carolina
I'm like,
and the Bucks.
how? How is it still 3 minutes left in this freaking
Oh my
game?
God, it
Like,
was-
seriously.
It was putrid. It was.
Jesus.
It's not fun watching Thursday.
Literally,
Night
they
Football.
need
That's
to
why you
cha-
guys should be watching.
They
us.
need to change it to the NRL, the National Ref Ball League. It isn't even football anymore.
We don't
Shocking
need
point. Trevor Harris wants to know which rebuild is worse, the Oilers or the Sabres.
The
I
Sabres. I would give it to the Sabres.
I will say the Sabres only because the Oilers gave their fans a glimpse of hope and then dug the knife in just a little bit deeper.
Oh, you waited too long.
Yeah, they.
There
I
it
would-
is.
There's
The
that
famous
overpass
pass.
again.
I'm
Yeah.
only giving the edge to the Oilers, or for the. Okay, Sabres are worse. Oilers are better in the sense that they got Connor McDavid.
And Leon Draisaitl.
Leon Draisaitl, and they had
And the fact that they've actually made the playoffs in the
They
last
also
5
had Taylor
years.
Hall at
Well-
one point, and they had Ryan Nugent
Yeah.
Hopkins. They have players that they should not have fucked up, but they managed to fuck up, which is pretty amazing that they did. They're still trying to put that team together from the Wayne Gretzky era. They forgot that the thing called the salary cap fucking exists. Anyway,
They forgot about this little thing called defense. They keep drafting offensive players.
that, and they also forgot goaltending is necessary to win.
They got a good one for this year.
Finally, took them forever to do it.
Yeah.
We have a Ralphie sighting.
Oh boy. Okay.
I like the other one better.
The other one was better, but that's still pretty good because I love the Little Giants movie.
All right, guys. So,
Oh, Ralphie's trying to have a little mandate after the show.
a mandate.
Everybody here
Trying to
wants
play a little
be
COD.
like me.
Yep,
Who's
that
gonna win? We'll never know.
Don't quit your day job there, Ralphie.
If Sa-
Oh, it's great.
He said Oilers by far the best, by the way.
for
Ooh,
in
thank
terms-
God it's finally here. Free advertisement. Chick-fil-A, give me that shit now. God's food right there, man.
Actually,
is.
literally, it is because they're not even open on Sunday.
Yeah. Gotta love it.
So, yeah, I would say but to be honest with you, when it
For
comes
me,
to the
it's got to be
Sabres,
the Oilers.
when it comes to the Sabres and the Oilers, I think we should pretty much just chalk it up and be like both. They are equally just as pathetic. Like, seriously. The Sabres never made the playoffs, and they got close twice, but they managed to screw up their freaking seasons towards the end. Literally, last year, they weren't doing all that bad. Then the Flyers put them in the review mirror, and then that was it. Their season fell right the fuck apart after that. Never got back above that. And then for Edmonton, they got good 1 year, and they managed to get to the second round. And then they lost to these guys right on over here.
Yep.
And then that was it.
Which is the sad part.
Yeah. So I guess you can safely say you guys single-handedly sank Edmonton. So there
I'm
you go.
good
You
with
got
that.
to
There
thank
you go.
somebody.
Hey,
Yeah.
there we
I'm
go.
not exactly
Hey,
sure what the sad part is about that, but
We're here to sink ships, baby. Let's go.
number 5.
You sank Ottawa. He sank Edmonton.
Number 5.
Number 5. This is where I have the Habs sitting at.
I also have the Habs.
I got the Habs there too, and it's
Wow.
a big jump
Wow.
in points.
Same.
This is like the first time we all agreed on.
I have them
This
close
far.
to the next team, which, we'll get there. But
I do too.
I have the Habs at 95 points.
I got them at 96.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to say that, Montreal, they're going to probably have a pretty good year, but unfortunately, they're not going to make the playoffs because they're going to have to compete with all the other teams that are trying to get a wild card spot, and they're probably going to miss again.
I have them at about 90 points.
I would say
Strong season, just not enough.
I would say for Montreal, their biggest problem is they rely so heavily on Carey Price to have a great year, and then the problem is if he's out, then
fuck.
they're shitty, and it's like
Absolutely.
you guys rely.
They need a healthy Shea Weber.
They also do need a healthy.
They
Shea
need a
Weber,
very
yeah.
healthy Shea Weber.
And again, that continuous reliance on Carey Price. I'm like, Price is your goalie, yes, and he's one of the best goalies in the league right now. But for fuck's sake, can you try and put some effort in front of him?
I do see. Offensively, they're going to be really good, especially if Cole Caulfield makes the squad.
If he
which
does,
I think he will.
That's the name. I couldn't think of his damn name.
But now you got
It was only the guy that he was bitching and
I
complaining
know.
that he didn't
Jonathan-
Well,
get.
he fell to what, 15?
Jonathan Drouin's going to. I think
Yeah.
he's going to have a huge rebound year. Max Domi's going to have a Max Domi type of year, which is what the Habs really, really need. And I think the only X factor here that's gonna they're going to obviously compete. Like I said, is Shea Weber going to play? Is he going to be healthy? Is he going to play a full 82-game season? Because if they do, they're easily going to get to the mark where I have them at 96 points.
Yeah. No, I agree. I that's what it comes down to. Again, like we were saying before. I mean, it is usually on Carey Price. So I mean, as long as Price is good, if the price is right, let's just say that, then the Canadians will be fine.
Yep.
But
Perfect.
Don't know if she's
Great.
Canadian, but Taryn Hatcher jumped up onto the thing.
No,
there.
she's a Jersey girl.
Oh, okay. Well, then nice. Well, there's one good thing the Garden State produced in its lifetime. Anyway.
God bless America.
Yeah, so the
Wonderful.
they're actually
Wonderful.
pointing out that the Flyers are going to be having a preseason game against one of the Swiss National League teams, actually.
they
So
better win.
They should. I mean, it's a European team, for fuck's sake. I mean, no offense to the European leagues. I mean, it is actually kind of fun to watch them because they have wider rinks. But, I mean, seriously, come on now.
Trevor Harris wants to know who our dark horse surprise team for the Metro and Atlantic Division. We're going to get to the Metro a little bit later, Trevor.
Oh, don't
but
worry.
for
We're
our
going to get
Atlantic.
to it. We've been sledding around it on purpose.
I mean, the Atlantic.
Okay, I understand it.
The Atlantic is my next team.
Yes.
Agreed.
Yes.
I think it's
yes,
probably
yes.
everybody's next team.
Yes,
is going
Trevor.
to be
Yes.
is going to be the Florida Panthers.
Actually, I went a little
goddess,
bit off
Trevor.
course here. I actually put Boston here.
Wow,
Really?
interesting.
I think Boston might have a little bit of a not bad year, but a lesser year. You know, because it happens a lot in sports where even though they didn't win the cup, hangover. And I think that it's going to happen to Boston too. And again, I'm going to say this now. Yes, the old guys are still able to perform well, but how long can they keep that shit up before it starts to affect
As long
them?
as Marchand's able to lick noses.
Well, Milan Lucic, though, isn't out giving death threats, so who knows. But anyway,
He was licking people's faces during the playoffs last year.
but he's French. Do you expect anything less from a French person?
Bonjour. He thought it was a snail.
Pretty sure Brad Marchand's Canadian.
Well, it's French.
Well, he's French-Canadian, so it doesn't change anything. French-Canadians think they're French, so, But they're not.
Anyway.
You know what I
Right.
mean? They don't think they're part of Canada.
So,
anyway.
Number four.
I have Florida Panthers at a strong 99 points.
I'm close to you, but I'm not far off. I have the Panthers there as well. I think they have a great year. They've completely revamped this team. I think Joe Quenneville is going to be huge.
And,
big time.
and they got
For this.
and Bobrovsky, the biggest
Bobrovsky,
add to their
I think
team.
that's the biggest reason why they excel this year is Bobrovsky. and
97
having
points
Quenneville.
I have him at.
Yeah, I got him at
Fourth
96.
place.
So
I put Boston down here. It's pretty much in that range. I think the Bruins, if they will most likely make a wild card spot. So unfortunately for us Metro guys, we're only going to have one wild card spot because that fourth team in the Atlantic is taking a wild card spot. So yeah, that means out of all 7 of the possible teams that could make the playoffs, 3 of them are going to get in on division, and only one of them is going to get a wild card spot. So, yeah, hate to break it to everybody in the Metro. That means 4 teams that are capable of making the playoffs aren't making the playoffs.
yeah, I got 5 teams coming from the Metro making the playoffs. Just the way I have things set up on here. So
Gotcha.
let's
So,
see
Mine's
what
a
else.
little different, but it's not far off.
yeah, so with that,
I mean, yeah. This is why I think the and a lot of people complain about, Gary Bettman. And I know the biggest one is right here. But he does a great job at, making this league competitive. Let's look at just what we've gone through so far in the Atlantic Division. Look at what we went through last week. Why did I put Pacific Division? Anyway, in the Pacific and the Central Division, which we covered last week, how many teams are actually not going to make the playoffs? I mean, obviously we know the answer to that number, but
8.
how many are not going to be clear cut not making the
Oh, yeah.
playoffs?
Clear cut. There's 3.
Clear cut,
in my
yes.
eyes. There's 3 teams that.
4 in mine.
Okay, Buffalo would be the honorable mention for the teams that aren't going to make it.
Yeah.
that would be definitely for sure.
Yeah.
The Central is pretty much going to compete the entire season for
Yeah.
the playoffs. You can pretty much have the entire Pacific except for maybe the Kings that are
Kings,
going to compete.
yeah. Sorry, I
And-
thought we were just talking about the East, but
No,
so
just overall.
5 for me. I'll throw. Yeah. the
It's
Kings.
just it's the one thing that he has done was he's made the league competitive. These teams are all like aside from the teams that are in full rebuild mode, everybody's going to compete,
Oh, I agree.
and it's what makes a good league.
I agree.
Good evening, Eileen.
Oh, good evening.
Hi, Eileen.
Hey.
Sign guy was saying hi, too.
Eileen.
The very weird way, though.
Okay, let's
Sign
see.
guy, you leave him alone.
Did we move on to 3 yet? Did we move on to the third spot?
No,
No.
No, we just I went over and said that
We did
I
4.
got Florida in 4, so
Well,
All
I
right.
got Florida in 4.
So, I guess we're on to number 3 now.
Number 3.
Number 3, I went bold here. I actually went with Florida. I actually do believe that getting Joe Quenneville is going to have an immediate impact on this team, and I think they're going to do what the Islanders did.
I was just gonna say this.
They're
Exactly
going to
what the
do
Islanders
exactly
did,
what the
so-
Islanders did, and they're going to overachieve and take a spot in the division. Not 2 or 1, but I could see them taking 3rd place and putting a team down to having to try and get a wild card spot.
Okay.
I can see him doing it, and having Sergei Bobrovsky having really solid goaltending is really going to help this team. It's a young team. It's very hungry, and keep in mind, the last time Joe Quenneville got a hold of a very young, hungry team, they went on to
Created a
win
dynasty.
3 Stanley Cups. So I would watch out for Florida in the Atlantic
Yeah.
Division. Whether you are Boston or you're Toronto, most likely they're coming for that spot that you're probably going to try and think you're going to get as a guarantee, because it's been a guarantee for the last few years that it's those 3 teams and nobody else.
Yeah.
This is the first time someone's going to threaten you.
I got Boston in 3, and they're going to be one of the first teams I got breaking 100 points this year. Barely 101, but Boston's Boston. They're a
Yeah.
good team. We know what they are. We know what they do. They didn't really make any huge moves to upgrade in the offseason.
But they also didn't
there's-
lose much either.
They didn't lose any. They kept Charlie Coyle. Tuukka Rask is still playing at a high level.
McAvoy
signed.
McAvoy signed and
Yep.
back, and you got Yaroslav Halak, who's showing that he's
relevant.
still playing at a good level as well. So Boston Bruins is still a very tough team to play.
So, yeah, I have myself, the Boston Bruins, at exactly 100 points, 1 point above Florida. It's going to come down to the last 2 games of the season.
Yeah. I got them at 105, but, I mean, they're going to hover. They're definitely a 100-point team. So.
All right, then. So.
You'll appreciate this comment from Eileen. She says, I miss the good old days of the Legion of Doom.
Oh, yeah, man. Those were some days, right? Back when the Flyers were a shoo-in for the playoffs, and they were winning the division almost yearly. Unfortunately, we never won that freaking cup because, fucking 97. God damn it.
Oh, goddamn, the best team in hockey in the 90s, the Detroit Red Wings.
I mean, to be fair, if the Flyers actually played well, that series probably would have gone 7, and it would have been competitive.
Probably would have.
But unfortunately, the Flyers just said, you know what? Fuck it. What's effort? We give up. You
tried.
guys go on to
Well,
be that dynasty.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, you just happen to draw the Red Wings. You drew Gretzky in the 80s. I mean.
And we drew the Islanders in
Yeah,
1980. And then we drew the Chicago Blackhawks in 2010. We've just had a wonderful job of
You've
drawing
gone against
fucking dynasties every goddamn time. We can't get that one-off team that's lucky like the Phillies drew with the Tampa Bay Rays when
Oh
they
my
won the
God.
freaking
We
World
did.
Series.
Back-to-back Stanley Cups, we played first-timers. So.
Yeah, lucky you. And then you guys
got
got
Ottawa.
Ottawa. Yeah. Meanwhile, and you got
Patrick
Anaheim
Louise.
the one year, and then you got the Dallas Stars.
Hey, Anaheim was a really good team that year.
They were.
But it was their very
Took
first
it down
time.
to the wire.
But it was
We
their
took them
very
down to the
first time.
wire. We still lost, but we
did.
took them down to the wire.
It was a great
Still
series.
first
It was a
time,
great
though, at
series.
the end of the day. Can't deny that. First time, jitters got to them at the end of the day.
I don't necessarily think it was jitters. I think the Devils were just a better team.
Oh, I was
They had
trying.
Brodeur.
I was trying to give you guys credit, but you know what? Okay.
Nah, they're,
Anyway.
they're professionals, man. They don't get jitters.
All
All right.
Number 2.
Number 2 in the division. I actually have Toronto finishing here.
Yes, I agree. Toronto.
I'm there.
I don't. I have Tampa
Which means he's got Toronto winning the division.
by 1 point.
Damn, that's bold. I'm only saying that it's kind of bold when you think about it because I will say this: Toronto it's a good team, but I think the difference between them and Tampa is that they still
Score.
have some question marks on their team that have come back to bite them in the ass.
Well,
on multiple
you know what?
occasions.
Now that I'm actually thinking about it, I kind of don't like my division standings now. I could probably drop the Maple Leafs. They lost their defensive leader in Jake Gardner.
yeah,
They traded away Nazem Kadri.
They
And
did.
they traded away Nikita Zverev also.
Yeah.
So that's 2 defensemen that they lost. I don't know if they have the replacements yet. I haven't looked at their roster, but
There's a young guy in
Those
their,
3
in their
moves that hurt.
system in their preseason who's actually playing very well. He's like a Jake Gardner, but younger. I can't
well, then
remember his
that'll
name.
pay off huge for them. That'll
Yeah,
fill that
I
Jake
can't
Gardner spot.
remember
But
his
that's
name to
huge.
save
That's
my
a huge
life.
loss. Losing
But-
Jake Gardner is huge.
But this is the reason why I have Tampa Bay at second, because everyone knows how they did last year. They were the best team in the league. They made records. They were unstoppable. Now all the teams this year are going to wake up and go, all right, we have to calm them down. We have to actually try against them. They're actually going to play. They're going to force more defensive plays against Tampa.
I don't know if it was as much as that, that they woke up. I think they always knew Tampa was scary and dangerous. I just think that Tampa was just on a hot streak and just kept going all year and would not be denied during that entire regular season.
Here's the main thing. They were healthy.
They were.
Stamkos
They were
was
very
healthy all year.
Yep.
They lost Stamkos for a week.
Yeah,
That was
which
the only
is a
downside
good
of their
year.
season.
Which is a
Well,
very
yeah.
good year because Stamkos is injury prone.
Yeah.
So
He usually misses months.
Yeah, but they didn't even need him because Kucherov put up 100-something points. So, I mean, what's the matter?
he crushed it.
Kucherov, and then you had
like
Braden
130
Point.
points this
You had
year,
all these
so-
other guys that they were very healthy,
Well, they
very
need to
minor
sign
injuries,
him,
and they were
yeah.
getting
And-
tons of secondary scoring.
Well,
And
that's
then
the other
add-
thing with me as well. Braden Point's still not signed. They can't afford him. The last time they offered was a bridge deal, 3 years, $5 million a year. There's no way he's going to accept that deal.
Well, I mean, even if he doesn't, it's not like
He
it's
was a 92 points.
It's a
last
loss,
year.
but you have to remember Tampa has so much secondary scoring and so much other offensive talent that it's almost okay for them to lose somebody like him. And that's weird to say.
Well,
it's weird to say
Can
that.
they not
but it's
afford him?
possible.
Probably not, but they'll figure out a way to get him back on contract. They can't afford to
They're
lose
going
him.
to
Yeah,
have
they
to
can't
trade
lose him.
people
Guy
away to
had
make
40
room.
goals last
They have
year.
to pull Penguins and get rid of a big name to make room for him. To keep him.
Eileen wants to know, to everybody,
Sure.
who our favorite Flyers are, past or present.
Well, I don't think really we're going to get much out of these two on that one.
Mark Recchi.
Why? Because
That
he played
works.
for the freaking Penguins? Yeah, sure.
Sure, why not?
All right,
Rick
Dean.
Tocchet?
All right, Dean.
You
Go
know.
right ahead. Go
It
figure
actually
that
might
one
be
out.
Rick Tocchet now that you say that.
Because
not
again, he
the
played
player,
for
but the
Pen-
coach, Rick Tocchet.
You know he played for the Penguins too, right?
I know, but I liked
okay.
him more as a coach.
Oh, okay then. Dean, go right ahead. Just go right ahead. I'm
I have-
very intrigued to see
I'm
this
actually,
one.
it's a tie for me.
It's got to be Brian Boucher.
Yeah.
For me, it's Danny Briere
Danny
or
Briere.
Boucher.
Okay.
Mine's easy. It's Eric Desjardins.
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 Mine is Simon Gagne. So,
Nice. Very good.
all right. So now that we got that out of the way, on to our number one. Mine's Tampa. Yours is Tampa. Brian's. Yours is Tampa.
With 110 points.
Yeah, I
All
got
right.
him at 111.
All right. Now
I
you
had
have
Toronto.
Toronto.
I had Toronto at 106. In
All right.
second
I have
place.
Toronto at 110, 1 point above Tampa Bay.
She said, fuck the Penguins.
Thank you.
The problem is, the more people say that, the more they compete.
Oh, I like Rod Brindamore, too.
Well, that was
Pittsburgh,
always
the Penguins are the Yankees of hockey. They love the ridicule.
They are not the New York Yankees of hockey. The Montreal Canadiens are.
not.
The Canadians have the
Cup-wise.
most cups. Hear me out. Think about the Yankees. Have they had a dynasty in recent years? Not ever since.
98, 99, 2000. I think
Since-
it was the last time they won 3 in a row.
Since then, nothing. Think about the Canadians. The last time they won anything was 93. So it's kind of parallel when you think about it. It's been a while since those teams have been on top consistently. And then think about their history, though. The Yankees went how many years without losing a World Series? The Canadians went how many years without losing a Stanley Cup final? Usually beating the Boston Bruins to do it half the time. Or some other schlub team that got lucky to even be there.
yeah, when you only had to beat 5 other teams.
Yeah, so it's like
Bullshit.
all I have to
They
say.
shouldn't count.
But that's the thing, though. They are the New York Yankees of the NHL. I would say the Penguins are like the Boston Red Sox. They have come out of nowhere and have become the dominant team in the league.
Makes
you know,
sense.
when you think about it, because think about Boston. They're a team that consistently got their asses kicked by the New York Yankees, and now they're consistently kicking the shit out of the New York Yankees and the rest of the teams to go on
Not
to win
this
a World
year.
Series.
Yeah,
I'm
not
not
this year.
saying I'm not saying in terms of right the fuck now, but look at recent history. You know, the Red Sox were killing people at the end of the day.
2004, 2007, what was it, 2015, 16, something like that.
Yeah, so
the
it's
last time they won a couple championship. I mean, Yankees have a championship in 2009.
but that's
so-
it. That's the one that they have, and that's like, damn, like that's crazy when you think about that. It's like the Red Sox traded places with them in this modern era, so it's kind of weird
Sorry,
when you
Yankees
think
took it
about
right back.
Yeah, they might
Yankees
very well.
took it right back.
Yeah, but their best pitcher beats up his wife and stuff. So
That's right. Pittsburgh's closer molests little children.
that is true. I wished we traded him away.
It's all right. You don't have to worry about trading him away because
No,
now he's going to be locked
gonna
up in jail for a
I
while.
hope he goes to like a Venezuelan jail where they're going to beat the shit out of him.
I hope so
Doesn't
too.
really matter anyway. They'll probably just rape him in American jail. So what's the difference? It doesn't matter. The crime,
Berta looks
and the punishment fits it.
very uncomfortable over there.
and they say the NFL's bad. But anyway, all right. So
Well, the NFL has cases. They don't do nothing but what's his name? What the hell's his name?
Domingo Haman.
Yeah. He, there's a case that comes up, and he literally, they shut him down. Like the MLB said, we're gonna look at this,
Yep.
and that's something I wish the NFL would do too. Honestly, is take a look, suspend a person until there's further notice of him not. And that's one thing the NHL doesn't play games with. The MLB does not play games
No,
with.
look at Patrick
NBA
Kane.
does not
Yeah,
play games.
Patrick Kane had the rape
yeah.
allegations against him. He wasn't allowed to play. He wasn't even allowed to practice.
Exactly. That's what I'm
And
saying.
then it wound up being-
NFL's like, oh, okay, yeah, you kicked a woman on camera. Okay, we'll give you 8 games.
look at. I mean, they didn't trade him away, but look at Evgeny Kuznetsov.
Yeah.
You know, they took that shit seriously too.
He's suspended for 4 years from
International
international play. But
Oh, yeah.
he's suspended for what? 3 NHL games, something like that, along those lines.
I thought-
Nani?
I thought it was for the first 2 weeks of the season.
So I forget. I gotta look it up.
I mean, though his is kind of minor. It's really only a drug offense, which is it's like, all right, that's not as bad as some of the shit that you can compare it to from like the NFL or anything like that. It's not as bad. I mean, you do it to yourself. It's still a crime, but you're doing it to yourself. At least you're not doing it to somebody else.
Doing coke on camera. Yeah, it's fine.
But I'm not saying it's fine. I'm just saying it's like at least he's only doing it to himself, and he's not like, hurting somebody or, molesting somebody or something like that. At least it isn't that
he
bad.
Screwed up
I mean,
terrible to
Christ.
have that camera on.
He did.
The camera was off? No one will know.
By the way, this is the second time he's gotten in trouble with this because the first time it was powder. No one knew what it was, but they pretty much assumed it was cocaine, and he admitted that it was illegal, that he wasn't doing it. The second time, yeah, he got caught flat out.
If he does it one more time, I think there's going to be a huge ban.
If he does, then he's getting kicked out of the league probably. If not, he's getting sent straight to rehab. What's up?
I thought it was.
Alex
Lyon?
Lyon?
Yeah, he's Russian. He doesn't need rehab.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Anyway, so that was our Atlantic Division.
Sorry, I'm not really over it either, Greg. Sorry.
Yeah. So that's the Atlantic Division. We have Tampa, with the exception of Dean, who's got Toronto. Blue and white, no matter what way you slice it. It's a blue and white division on that one.
With
Blue
a
and white
hint of
band.
yellow. With a very hint of yellow.
Yeah, blue and white going to that division. Blue and white banner. All right, moving on. Metropolitan Division.
I think we can agree on the bottom team.
Yeah, all right. Let's all agree on the bottom team all together now.
The New Jersey Devils. Oh.
The Columbus Blue Jackets.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh Penguins. Wait.
The Anaheim Ducks, somehow, some way.
They're not in the Metro.
How is that possible?
It's possible. Never doubt the
Ottawa
Metro.
Senators again?
Yeah, Ottawa is so bad they make up for last place in both divisions.
All right,
Still a little heartbroken over the news I got from the Anaheim
Yeah,
Ducks.
that's what I said 90 for. It's fucking 14-0 Jacksonville in the first quarter. Yeah, he is.
Who scored for Jacksonville?
Oshag Hennessy and DJ Chark. Or no, I'm sorry, D.D. Westbrook. What? It is. But go look who scored. I'm pretty sure his name's Oshag Hennessy.
O'Shaughnessy.
All right. Back to hockey, folks. Especially you.
So was it
That's
DJ?
why I said it, damn it.
Was it Didi or DJ?
Huh?
Didi or DJ?
I think it was D.D. Westbrook.
Damn it.
Oh, great save by Lyon. But anyway,
Or DJ.
it's
I'll check.
Because
All
I
right.
think I picked up DJ Chark
so
in our league.
can Mr. Shithead, raise his thing? It's Shatheed anyway.
See, it's Oshag Hennessy.
Okay. Oh, fantasy. It's a beautiful thing sometimes.
Yeah,
isn't
that's
it?
even better when it's an A2D league that we're talking about.
It was
And everybody's competing with each other.
Yep.
Not me. I don't know shit about football, so I
Same
stay
here.
right the hell off
I
to the
stay- I
side
stay
on
out
that
of
one.
It was Chark, by the way.
Oh.
All right.
Damn it! I think I have him on my bench.
Oh, man.
Well,
All
I mean,
right.
I have who?
Last
Adam
plate,
Thielen
guys.
and somebody else.
All right, it's
Wait, did I put him in
it's
a
still
flex?
2-1, by the way, in the Boston-Philadelphia preseason game. Anyway, moving on. So
Last place.
last place,
Metropolitan.
we have Columbus
Blue
in that
Jackets.
spot. Brian, do you have Columbus in last place?
With 75 points.
All right, then. Yeah, Columbus is taking a dramatic, and I emphasize the word dramatic step back.
I honestly think
from
75 points is generous. I have a measly 56.
Whoa.
56. Okay, come on. They're not that bad.
I
They're
don't think-
bad.
They
They
lose
ain't
one of
that
the
bad.
they lose one of
Like-
the best goalies in the league, one of the best scorers in the league.
Okay, but they're not at Ottawa level shit. Like, come on. They're still terrible, though, by every. They're still bad.
Name 5
Dude.
players on the team.
Ooh.
All
So no, I can't.
I will give you that one. I will
Zach
give you that
Werenski,
one.
Boone Jenner, Cam
Boone, yeah.
Atkinson.
Not Letestu. He's no longer there.
No, Letestu went to
Pierre, what is it, LeBlanc or?
Pierre-Luc
Luc
Dubois.
Dubois, that's who.
Dubois.
He's another good young kid. And
Do more like do shit. But anyway,
I got 4.
we should
Off the top of my
actually
head.
name all the like Boone Jenner, more like Boone shit.
Oh,
you
Seth
guys
Jones.
ain't
You say
nothing.
Seth Jones. Seth Jones is on the team too.
I thought he was still on the team. I wasn't 100% sure because
So
with all the
there's 5.
exodus that's
It was
happened,
hard,
you
but
know?
I still don't think they're going to score 56 points this year. I mean, I think they're. I got them at 76 points this year.
Oh, it's a
Yeah, I
little
got
bit
him at
better.
75.
I just think
what was the last time a team scored under 60 points, even as bad as they were?
Ottawa 2 years ago.
Early
really?
2000s consistently would be like the early form of Washington before they got Alexander Ovechkin, or the New York Rangers at that
Or the
time
Pittsburgh
before they
Penguins.
figured out what the fuck a team is. But anyway, that's the last time that shit really was consistent of scoring 50 points on the board.
To me, they are taking a huge hit. They're getting rid of like half their big names, or I would say all their big names. Now they have to completely rebuild and try to find another core of players that's going to fill the mold.
Yeah.
Well, that's why you got Zach Werenski. You're going to build around him. You're going to continue to build around Cam Atkinson, who's still only like 25 years old. You're going to keep Boone Jenner in the mix. Seth Jones is obviously one of your key defensive guys. They got guys in place. I don't think they're going to be as bad as everybody thinks, and I think Korpisalo is going to be fine in that.
They're
not going to be good. They're not going to be better than any of the other teams.
They're not going to be good, but they're not going to be the worst.
They're
team
not
in the
going to be
league.
Ottawa. No, they're not going to be Ottawa or LA. They're actually going to have something going on.
I still have them better than Detroit. I think they would beat Detroit in a playoff
yeah,
series.
if
it was like that,
If we had which we actually should do this one day, if we had a bracket of the shittiest teams in the league and we put them in there, Columbus would probably win that bracket, honestly. Like, it would come down to them and probably Buffalo. But it would be most likely Columbus winning this at the end of the day. So, all right, moving on to the number 7 spot. Now, this is where it gets fun because this is where we have all the teams that are going to be competing for the wild card. And I'm going to state this right now. Yes, I'm a Flyers fan, and no, this has nothing to do with that. I put the Devils here at 7.
How many points? I'm curious.
Actually, I didn't put points. To be
I got
honest
him at
with you.
84.
Okay.
That's actually, you know what? If I did put points, I would probably hover around that
not
range. To be
far
honest
from where
with
they
you.
were last year. I think
They are going to make a big step.
They are.
They are.
They're going to take
And
a
I
step
think-
in the right direction. Yes.
And I think offensively they're going to be fine. I think defense are a little suspect, and goaltending they're extremely suspect.
Goaltending is extremely suspect.
That's going to be what is going to either make or break their season this year.
It's if we have a good Schneider, or a bad Schneider, or a good Blackwood, or a meh Blackwood.
Yeah, and that's unfortunately
Man,
speaking from
Blackwood's
personal.
like
and,
ECHL goaltender. So.
and speaking from personal experience, this is not the time to have a goalie problem at this
Not
point
in this
the
division.
Metropolitan.
Not when you got to play these guys 4 games a
That's
year.
the thing. We got away with it at the beginning because of the fact that the Metropolitan, there weren't as many good teams. You know, like, yes, you had the Rangers. Yes, you had the Capitals and the Penguins. After that, you had nothing. You had the Devils who were struggling, the Flyers who were struggling, the Islanders who were hopelessly lost. And, then you had Columbus who was mediocre at best for a period of time. And then you had Carolina that also was hopelessly lost until they finally figured out what the hell to do starting last year. So it was not a great division at that time. Now it's a really good division. So this is a tough spot to be in when not having a solid goaltending situation,
Yeah. I have the Rangers at that spot. Yes, they did make some good moves. But I don't know. I'm not exactly sold on either of those two. I mean, to jump ahead right now, I have the Devils right above them at 87 points. I have the Rangers 85, Devils 87. But I'm just between those two teams, I think you could flip-flop them. They're young, they're rebuilding, they have some good pieces. Personally, I do think the Devils have the better pieces minus the goaltending. But, the Rangers getting Trouba and Panarin,
Sorry,
Good
Grady
old-
came up on the screen.
good old Grady.
I thought it was Taryn.
But,
I looked up and it was a complete
It
opposite.
was nothing but orange. That's Taryn Hatcher if she has a bad hair day and she's on drugs.
Whoa.
But anyway.
Taryn Hatcher
Right.
on a bad hair day and on drugs is still better looking than Gritty. A couple
wrong.
comments rolling in here. We got Kyle Giordino. I hope I said your last name right, Kyle. He says they can keep Keith Stinkade, as in the Blue Jackets.
Well,
Kincaid.
Actually, Kincaid's up in Montreal now.
Is he in Montreal?
Montreal, backup.
Well, they got rid of Stinkade. There you go. Now you can call him Stinkade. There you go. You got the team that you could say, oh, you're no
He
longer
also
a Devil.
goes on to say that Corey looked good last night, referring to Corey Schneider, but they need to work on communication.
That's the beginning of the preseason. It's not the true Devils team yet.
Has Hall played it all yet?
No.
No.
Hall says he already confirmed he's going to play 2 preseason games.
And he's really going to be a major factor of the offense when it comes to that team.
As long as he's out there practicing every day, I don't really have an issue with anybody doing stuff like that.
I mean, but yeah,
Show up to practice every day.
for the Devils, their problem is not their offense. Their offense has all the ability to be scary, and the problem is just the defense and the goaltending. Mainly the goaltending. That's really going to be their big problem.
Right now, I see their defense improved more than last year. They locked up some of their RFAs like Connor Carrick and Will Butcher.
And they did get PK Subban.
They got Subban. I see him more of offensive than defensive, but he brings another aspect into the defensive role. They're looking to bring up Ty Smith, who is a great offensive defenseman. He won the he was the top defensive prospect in his ECHL league. I can't remember the name of the league.
From personal history, watch out for the ties. I know from history, ties don't always work out. From Ty McGinn.
Domi.
No, not Ty Domi. Ty McGinn on the Flyers. He was terrible.
Ty Domi's just an evil man.
He was, let's be honest here, in the modern league, he wouldn't be playing in the league by any stretch of the imagination. That man would be nowhere near
Or he'd
this
be
league.
playing, he would just die.
I've had this conversation with multiple people over the last couple of days about fighting in hockey and the enforcer role, and
It's gone.
just it's pretty much gone. Like the
Yeah.
guys that do scrap have offensive upsides. Guys like Tom Wilson. Yeah, he'll scrap, he'll drop the gloves, but
Yeah, but he
he's
can
gonna
score 20 goals.
Right. TK. He's a guy that he'll scrap. He's not good at it, but he'll scrap. He ain't gonna back down.
Yeah.
He'll score you 25, 30 goals.
Wayne Simmons. Yeah.
There's
That
another
was the
one.
immediate thought was because he was a guy who could still score, but the Flyers relied on him to be a tough guy
Yeah.
when
But
needed
yeah,
to be.
I got 5 points between pretty much 5 and 7. So it's going to be a tight.
So
It's gonna be tight
I
race.
didn't,
It's a very
I didn't
tight
say
division.
my number 7. I have the Hurricanes at 90 points.
I don't see him dropping that low.
I don't think they
dropping to 7th with 90?
7th.
Wow.
Well, problem is they're still going to be competing.
if it makes you
No,
feel
you're
better,
right. No, I get it. Like, you're not far off where I have the Canes in points, but I don't have the Canes in 7th.
if it makes you feel better, Roscoe on YouTube says he's got the Sabres and Canucks in the Stanley Cup. So
Roscoe,
Okay.
can you please tell me what you're smoking right now? If it's crack, then okay. But I mean, like if it's that marijuana, watch out, man. That will be a gateway to all kinds of things. Then
Also, going back to Kyle's comment, Corey, in his first preseason game, he gave up 3 goals on 30 shots. It's pretty solid. They won that game. He needs to be consistent, though. And actually
and
not,
stay
be,
healthy.
not be glass.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's for me, wins and losses in hockey for goaltenders is like wins and losses for pitchers. It's not really that important of a stat.
Well,
there's so much other stats that are more important than just getting the wins
It's
and
how
losses.
they
like
play.
save percentage, goals against
Yeah.
average.
Right.
You know,
Right.
No, 3 goals and 30 shots, that's not exactly 900.
It's those are good numbers. 3 goals on 30 shots is good numbers, whether you get the win or loss.
Yeah.
It's such a to me. It's just
That's a very easygoing,
It's a
relaxed night,
minuscule
too,
stat.
for goaltending when you get down to it, considering the fact some goalies are facing 40 shots per night. So, you know.
yeah. I mean, he does all that he can do. If he lets up 3 goals, and the offense doesn't do anything, he
still
still
play-
personally had a good night.
Yeah.
It's just it's like baseball where if the pitcher pitches well on the mound, still gets a loss.
Jacob DeGrom.
All right, guys. So
Aaron
All right.
we're going to head to break. When we come back, we should be wrapping up the game between Boston and Philly. It's still 2-1 right now. And we will continue our Metropolitan Division breakdown
From
right now.
6th place to 1st.
Yes, we will do 6-1. Right now, just to give a recap, we all have Columbus sitting at 8th. We have a little bit of differences at 7, and we'll see how crazy we get when we go through the rest. All right,
it's
so
going to be a mess.
it will be. It will be. We're all
That's
going
what
to
this
just.
division is.
We're
It's
gonna
just a mess.
we're just gonna be on the floor in pieces, either laughing or crying because of how difficult this division
and
is.
Brian's
But
going to be
anyway,
kicking us.
yeah, probably because he gets to sit out in the nice, cozy Pacific Division. So.
I don't know how cozy it is. But
Anyway, that'll do it for this half of the Hockey Happy Hour. We will be back for the second half, but first, We are brought to you by Gibson Mayer LLC, your certified public accounts located at 301 Oxford Valley Road in Yardley, PA. Give them a call 215-369-3300. You ever felt like you don't get every bit of the money you deserve in your tax return?
Yes.
I kind of do. Guess what? You don't have to worry about that if you go to Gibson Mayer. Be ready. Be prepared. Call Gibson Mayer. This is the Hockey Happy Hour on A2DRadio.com. Join us for the second half on Facebook and YouTube. If you're on Twitter and Instagram, we'll say goodbye to you guys if not, and we'll see you right after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Hockey Happy Hour here on A2DRadio.com. Matt Tatsui, the Penguin Munching Mikey Klankoff, the Great Denson Dean Sensi, and the Darkwing Brian Daly, and behind the board, the side guy, Mr. Ryan Roto. All right. We are brought to you by Gibson Mayer LLC, your certified public accounts located at 301 Oxford Valley Road in Early, PA. Give them a call, 215-369-3300. Tax season will be back before you know it, so be ready, be prepared, and call Gibson Mayer. And since it is preseason and there were a few games that were going on, I believe it's time for us to bring back one of our beloved segments, the live scoring update. Mikey, take it away.
You got it, man. All right, so I'll start with my team first. We got the Penguins beating the Blue Jackets right now 4-1 with about 6.5 minutes left in the third period.
Get used to that image.
Yeah, right. Columbus. Ass. We got the Florida Panthers and the Canadians. Panthers are losing 3-4 with about 9 minutes left, and I can't get anything else updated here. I got spinning dots. The game that we got on, because everything's like 5 minutes behind on here because it's not loaded up.
I got you.
Obviously, Bruins and Flyers, the game that we're watching now. There we go. Perfect. Okay, you just gave me this. Okay.
It's 2-1.
Okay. All right, here we go. Here we go. This is all updated. Panthers and Canadians are tied up 4-4. We got the Dallas Stars are losing to the Avalanche 1-0 in the first period. That was scored by Bellemare.
Pierre-Edouard Bellemare?
Yeah.
Former Flyer? Why did we lose him?
In the first period, we have the Canucks and the Oilers tied up at 1.
Ooh, they tied it.
Yeah, they just tied it up. And we got the Golden Knights and the Kings playing at 10:30 tonight as well. And again, we have the Flyers. Flyers are on a power play right now as we speak. And shorthanded opportunity.
2-on-1 for Boston.
Hey,
which
there it
luckily,
goes.
great defense by Gostisbehere.
See, with that, you got to do a
That was
quick
a quick
transition. They got 2 guys down low and get 4 forward. So that's one thing that always scares me when teams go for the shorthanded goal. But when you got
But
somebody,
they can't. Flyers can't seem to keep the puck in their
yeah, I was
zone
gonna
right
say
now.
when you got somebody messing that up for you, then you know. See, my time's going up on my phone.
Greg says first timer over there updating scores.
It's not my first time. I'm literally look. It has the Flyers at 9 minutes on my phone right now. There's only
and it was
4
like-
minutes left in the game.
Yeah. And
Oh.
breakaway, and he
goal.
scored. Boston is now up 3-1.
Right out of the box.
Right out of the box, Clifton came in and scored on Alex Lyon. So it looks like the Flyers are going to lose another
have no-
preseason game.
You
But
have
you know
no
what?
Faith.
It's preseason, whatever.
You have no faith.
Well, one, yeah, it's
Anything's
preseason,
possible.
but two, this
3:45 left in the third, and really,
man.
it's fucking preseason. Who cares?
I've seen teams come back from way worse.
But
in
that's
way
it.
less time.
It's the regular season I'm worried about. I'm not worried about this
If there was
shit.
actually points involved, you know.
Yeah, like I'd be mad right now. I'd be fucking like pissed off. I'll be freaking saying obscenities right now. My guy's thrown off the freaking air. But anyway, if freaking
you said some pretty terrible stuff. We're still on the air, so.
that too. I do say some pretty bad things in the heat of the moment, which yeah, I will admit that goes too far, but it is what it is, right? Heat of the moment.
I
Heat of the
agree.
moment. All right. Anyway.
Yeah, but there's still plenty of time for the Flyers to come back in this. It's not
There
over yet.
it is, but it's preseason, whatever. Anyway, all right. So that's all we got for the scoring update.
Yes.
I just got an update here. Apparently, Tom Brady's fed up with the Thursday night refs. Tom Brady. Yep.
Oh. You know, if Brady's on Twitter, something's wrong.
Oh boy.
Tom. He says
What? Did
too
he
many
not-
penalties. Just let us play. Hashtag Tennessee versus Jacksonville. I'm turning off this game. I can't watch these ridiculous penalties anymore. Hashtag Tennessee versus Jacksonville.
It's all right. It's all right. Just deflate the ball. Anyway, what I find hilarious. It's all right.
Yes, just like the Phillies are still in it, Greg. Just like we talked about earlier.
All right. So
What a shame.
All right. Number 6.
all right, guys. So are we ready for us to torture ourselves some more and figure out this
Absolutely.
Metropolitan Division
That's
some
what
more?
we're here for. Right,
Ugh.
Tommy?
Oh,
The true
God,
torture.
The Metropolitan Division. I hate this division so much. All right, on to number 6. I have Carolina here. Now, this
no
is
love for the Hurricanes.
here's the thing, though. We don't really know if Carolina's going to have the same year they had this past year. I really mean that. And they've got a tough division. So they may actually wind up going low. I'm not saying that it's because they're a bad team. I'm saying it because the division is so competitive. They may find themselves down here.
I'm with you on that.
It's just the way it is, with Carolina. Again, they were a question mark. We don't know if they're going to have the same year they had last year because they overachieved big time. Not getting to the playoffs, but getting to the Eastern Conference Finals. Big overachievement on their part.
How about you, Mikey?
I have the New Jersey Devils sitting in the 6th spot here. I have them just a few points better than the Rangers. Again, they made a lot of good moves, but I don't know if they're there to take that next step to compete with, teams like Washington, Pittsburgh, Islanders, Philadelphia,
Gotcha.
Hurricanes.
6, I got the Rangers. I got the Rangers at 85.
6, I had the Islanders. I feel all the teams in the Metropolitan got better. I didn't see the Islanders make that big move. They lost Robin Lehner, who was absolutely amazing last season. He was most of the reason why the Islanders went that far. And then they saw Lehner left, and they got Varlamov, who to me is shaky.
I think he's better than Lehner.
He's better than Lehner.
Yeah.
Robin Lehner is a glorified backup.
I would say what really got them going was
Thomas Greiss.
Yeah,
Chad Johnson.
Chad
Johnson.
Oh, it's all about
and
Johnson.
we're talking
The
goalie
legendary
Chad
DiPietro.
Oh yeah, totally. No, what really happened was that they had their coach. The coach pretty much changed it. And what's his fucking name? What is his name?
Barry Trotz.
Thank you. Christ. How did I forget?
Brain
Yeah. How the hell did I forget Barry Trotz?
He's had a few brain farts today. So.
Christ. How did I forget the guy who single-handedly made the Islanders relevant?
Well,
anyway.
if you keep on quacking your head, I want
And then
why.
him and Matthew Barzal pretty much got them going in the right spot for them. And then I could see that continuing moving forward for the New York Islanders. But, yeah.
Chad Ochocinco.
So I have the Islander.
I would love to see that.
So when it comes to this division, the next 4 teams are 4 points apart from each other.
Yeah, this is
That's where I was having a hard time deciphering where they're going to go.
God, I hate
The
this
Islanders are at 93 points with the next 2 teams tied at 94. Because I just feel this division is going to be nothing but competing with each other, killing each other 4 points.
Yeah, pretty much.
I
So
still can't put those. I
put-
can't put those teams that low. Like I said, I got the Rangers at 85. They made moves to improve, but my biggest question mark for the Rangers is what kind of Henrik Lundqvist are you going to get? He's 36, 37
Or do they
years
just
old
go
now.
with Georgiev?
Yeah.
No, they're going to go Lundqvist.
They're going to go Lundqvist for
Yeah, that
sure.
would
But
be the smart move.
Georgiev has played good, but he played a lot last year. I mean, I felt like, Lundqvist's time is starting to dwindle down.
And
So,
that's why I got the Rangers down at 6. I can't put them any lower than that, but I can't put them any higher
But then
either.
again, now they have some good young pieces that they could put in front of him, which
plus they
Right,
also
Trouba.
yeah.
You got
Panarin.
Panarin now. You got Kako.
yeah.
You got some, and to be fair, they had young talent too that was pretty tough as well. So it's not that the Rangers were a disaster team last year. They weren't. They just decided to tap out and say, you know what, we're going to retool the team and not try. And that's literally what they did. They didn't try last year. This year they probably will try. So we'll see what happens when they put effort into it. As for the number 6 spot for you guys,
Yeah, I went with the Devils.
you went with the Devils. Who did you have, Dean?
Islanders.
Islanders.
I got the
And you
Rangers.
have that. Okay, and then I have the Hurricanes. All right, so next up we have at number 5. I am going to say this. I'm a realist, and I put the Flyers here.
I got Flyers at 5 with 89 points. They're going to be just shy of 90. And I think the only reason why they're going to be just shy of 90 is I don't know how good their special teams are going to be.
Special teams is the big question mark, yes, because our penalty kill was awful.
They got better
last
coaches
year.
in those positions.
They
They
do.
really do with Michelle Therrien and
And
Mike
they
Yao.
beefed up the defense.
Yep, and they beefed up the defense.
They made a lot of really great moves this year to help improve the team, but here's the thing. I think with the competitive nature of this division, it's going to be really hard for the Flyers to scratch
making the
into
roster
the
this
top
year, I
3
guarantee it.
spots. If Morgan Frost should. He should absolutely make the
Yeah,
team.
there's no doubt.
He played a great game. He didn't score, but he played a great game tonight.
It's not his fault. Halak decided to put effort into the preseason for whatever reason. So, I mean,
He's fighting for a spot.
For what, the backup? He's
Yeah.
not going to be competing for the starting position, for fuck's sake. I mean,
Well,
seriously.
yeah, he's competing for the backup spot. He doesn't want to go down to the AHL.
So how hard can it be to compete with whomever the hell, whatever schlub they had backing up Tuukka Rask in the first place?
So you've
Not-
been playing in the NHL for how long in your career? You really think you're going to take a job in the AHL?
No, but I'm just saying Halak really doesn't need to put effort into it because let's be honest here, are they really going to put him down in the AHL? They had some scrub backing up Tuukka Rask for the longest time. So why
Well,
would you
if
not?
Legacy comes up here and he shows a good camp, yeah, he could. Legacy's on the brink.
Man, we'll see. But anyway,
And he missed.
on to
Number 5.
I have the Flyers here. He has the Flyers here. Dean,
I have the Rangers.
Rangers, you have him here. What do you got,
I
Mikey?
have the Carolina Hurricanes at number 5.
At 5. Okay.
What's the timeout for?
By the way, Flyers empty.
Sabres and Canucks in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Oh,
according to
yeah.
David Rasko.
Oh, yeah, we mentioned that earlier.
I said that. I
What?
commented on YouTube.
What?
if I hope he's saying that in the sense of our losers
Maybe an NHL
bracket.
20.
In our losers bracket.
If the loser bracket, yeah, then
What?
maybe. But I wouldn't
Come
even
on,
put
Dave.
Vancouver in that spot because Vancouver actually has talent.
Listen,
on their team.
Vancouver could make a chance for the.
Some chow.
Yeah. Sabres aren't even coming anywhere close to a playoff spot. They suck. They don't even have a goalie anymore.
The Sabres are going to be one of the worst
They
teams
suck.
in
They're
the
going to lose their
NHL.
best defenseman to a trade.
Most likely.
3-1 Boston beats the Flyers. Final
Yeah.
score.
I mean, it's nothing big. It's just, one of those games where the young Bucks, they get a chance to show themselves and see what they can do. We'll see what happens as they move along. They'll be facing the Rangers next, which will be coming up on Saturday. So in case anybody wants to catch that game, I'll watch that one as well.
Watch this shitty football game now.
And now
watch
we're going to
the
turn
shitty-
on to the shitty football game.
Come
Oh,
on.
man,
Go
let's
for-
see.
Leonard Fournette.
Minshew's about to throw a
I don't know.
95-yard
He's
bomb.
open. Come on. Get it down.
Damn. This
Wow,
got
that's
lively
horrible.
real fast on a shitty football game.
Check down. You had Fournette wide open.
14-0 for the Jaguars, by the way, with their teal jerseys. Them and the good old San Jose Sharks have that in common, but that's pretty much all they have in common.
He's
So,
always got to turn football into hockey, don't he?
Yep.
Hey,
I mean, the
tries.
Sharks at least have talent. So,
Ouch.
come on, let's be honest here. Are the
They just
Jaguars
lost their talent.
Are the Jaguars really going to do anything this year? They never do anything. The Jaguars are the perennial cannon fodder team in the AFC. Let's call it what it is. The team that always gets their ass kicked by the other team. That's just how it is.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, except for 2 years ago.
It's not going to get your first down, but that'll work.
What
Anyway,
did they do
where are
2
we?
years
All right,
ago?
all right.
They actually made the playoffs, but
But did they win?
yeah, they beat us.
Did
When,
they go
last
to the
year?
Super Bowl?
45 to 42.
Did
What
they
a
go to the
fucking game?
Did they go to the Super Bowl?
No.
Did they win it? No.
No.
So who fuck cares?
Oh, yeah.
Seriously,
They
they
haven't
won
won.
fuck all.
They haven't
So
won.
anyway,
They got the AFC Championship 2 years ago.
Yeah, but they haven't won anything.
All right. But
They-
yeah,
the
they
AFC
get- I don't-
Championship twice in their career, in their franchise history.
but they haven't gotten to the Super Bowl.
So,
So they've done fuck all.
so
So anyway,
doesn't make them a bad team. It just sucks when you get to the AFC Championship and you pull the New England Patriots.
well, that's pretty much what you guys have to deal with almost every freaking postseason. So there you
Same
go.
thing every time the Flyers got to a Stanley Cup.
They had to face a dynasty.
Face a
Yeah.
dynasty.
So well.
all right.
Yeah. Anyway,
So-
moving on.
well- So my reasoning for the Rangers being at 5 and not lower or higher, again, they got some really key moves. They got some great players. They got rid of guys that were not really going to help the team. I just feel if Lundqvist comes out and plays, he has a team in front of him now.
He does. He actually has talent ahead of him this
well,
year.
we all know by at least a trade deadline somebody's going to the New York Lightning, so
Probably.
I'm gonna.
or the
You-
Tampa Bay
you know what?
Rangers,
I'm gonna-
which is better,
Who-
the New
who-
York Lightning
I like
or
the Tampa Bay
Tampa
Rangers.
Bay Rangers.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Tampa Bay Rangers on that one. I'm gonna say it's gonna be Panarin. I think Panarin's going to get fed up with
Yeah.
their shit, and he's going to go down south to go, be on the beaches and play with Stamkos.
Nah, he ain't going nowhere.
And if he winds up going to Tampa Bay and that team still managed not to win a
It won't
Stanley
ever
Cup,
There's a
it
first
wouldn't
spot.
happen. But let's be honest here. Say the salary cap is gone and Panarin says fuck you to the Rangers and goes to Tampa Bay and they still don't win a Stanley Cup. I'm like, my God, Tampa, just blow it the fuck up. You guys can't win shit. It's official.
Nah, man, he ain't going nowhere.
I know. He's not going
He wants to be a
anywhere.
Ranger. He picked. There's teams that offered him more money, and he turned them down to
He
go
did.
go
He
play
did
in
turn
Broadway.
down big. Yeah.
I don't blame
He's
him.
playing for the team that he rooted for when he was younger.
Doesn't that make sense?
Same thing
yeah.
with Shattenkirk,
I forgot that he was actually.
who went to Tampa.
Tampa.
Are we
1
really,
year, like $1 million.
Are we surprised? I mean, he was on Washington, red, white, and blue team.
You're,
Rangers wear red, white, and blue. It
Your
all
trash Rangers
makes
seem to be the
sense.
Lightning's treasure.
Yeah.
Dan Girardi's career got resurrected down there.
So did Martin St. Louis' career too.
Basically, every defenseman from the
Oh,
Rangers
flip that.
is now. The,
Oh, my
the
bad.
Lightning
Flip
Flip it.
that. Ryan
defense.
Callahan
Yeah.
is what I meant, actually.
Yeah, because he was a Lightning
His-
then a Ranger.
Yeah, my
His-
bad. My bad.
His career went downhill so soon as he left New York, though.
What, St. Louis?
No,
Oh.
Callahan.
Callahan?
Well, he had injuries also.
Well,
yeah,
Cal- actually-
he's got a major.
Dude, Didi
they don't
Westbrook
even know
has
if he's going to be
fucking
playing this
brick
year.
hands.
No, he's not. He retired.
Holy shit!
Oh, he did
cannot
officially
catch a
retire?
ball.
All right. So at number 5, we went through our list. Now we go to number 4. Now here, I actually put the New York Rangers, and here's the reason why. I think they'll overachieve this year. I say that because there's always
Good
an
play.
overachieving fuckhead in every division that has to piss you off and be like, why the fuck can't you just be shit like you're supposed to be? The New York Rangers are going to be that team most likely in this division. Like I said, you have Capo Caco. They have all that talent in front of them, and they have solid players that they had after doing that fire sale and not trying last year. They were still actually not in a bad spot last year. If they had wanted to put like 2/3 of an effort behind it, they probably could have actually still in a wild card spot. They just didn't put effort into it towards the end. They're like, fuck it, we're rebuilding. So with them putting effort behind it and Henrik Lundqvist maybe playing well, this team might be frustrating enough to actually take a wild card spot. So that's what I think is probably going to wind up happening, at least in my opinion. I hate to say it, but it's always the case. The Rangers just have to try when they shouldn't. But oh well. They'll just go get beat by the Pittsburgh Penguins in the first round. Anyway.
I don't know. I think this is where the Canes are going to finish. They're going to finish with 94 points. So I got 5 points between 4th and 5th, which is where I put the Flyers at 89. The Canes aren't a flash in the pan. They're not. They've been building for what they are now for a few years now. The only thing is,
Their goaltender.
what about Justin Williams? He said he's taking the year off.
Yeah.
I think he's retiring. I think he's unofficially retired now.
That's another thing we have to bring up with Dustin Byfuglien. He
Um,
might be contemplating that as well. He just asked for a year off also from Winnipeg.
Well, I won't be missing that piece of shit. But anyway.
I don't think the Canes are good. The Canes are a good team. Peter Mrazek showed that he can still play, and he's still a relatively young goalie. The defense has played well all last year. The special teams were good for them all last year. They went out and got Ryan Dzingel. They got somebody else too.
They kept Aho.
They kept Aho. Aho
Almost
stayed.
lost him.
Who's
Yeah, somebody put
Rask is
it.
gone, right?
Montreal.
Rask is gone. Montreal did put the claim on him. Somebody else. There's another fairly big name that they did. Oh, Patrick Marleau. Patrick Marleau is now a member of the Carolina Hurricanes. They just keep bringing in leadership.
Yeah.
They keep bringing in leadership for these young guys to keep learning from. And the Canes, they're not a flash in the pan. They're gonna make a lot of noise again this year. I could see them getting to the Eastern Conference Finals again.
They get back to the Eastern Conference Finals again. It's like, holy shit. This team just came right the fuck out of nowhere.
Yep.
Because for a long time, Carolina did not know what they were doing.
Having Rob Brind'Amour behind the bench.
Helps.
Oh, absolutely.
It's huge.
He's the coach that they needed for the longest time because it's like, you know what? He's the coach they get motivated behind. You can tell, too. You can almost tell when you see that coach behind the benches, that's why. That's why this team is playing so well because they love their coach. And you can tell they love Rod. And who doesn't? Seriously. If Brendan Moore was the coach of the Flyers, they should play freaking 90-point seasons, breaking 100-point seasons with him.
I
But
want to look this up real quick because it's annoying me.
We'll see what happens with Alain Vigneault. Anyway, all right, on to. Oh, wait a minute. Everybody gave their number?
Yeah, I went with Carolina Hurricanes at 5.
Okay. And then 4, you
4,
had.
I have stuff written down here, but I feel like I want to change it.
I just kind of just thought about it too for me.
Are you
But-
going to put Carolina there?
No.
No.
I feel Carolina is where they deserve.
Should
for
I
me.
just go with what I have written down?
Yes.
Okay, then I
Own
have
it.
the Islanders in 4th. I have the Islanders rocking 4th place at 100 points.
I don't think it's a bad thing.
It's not bad.
No, I don't think it's not out of the realm of
No, but
possibility.
it's just where I have
The thing is,
other teams. One that I have not said yet, and you're wearing their jersey.
ooh,
You put them really high?
They're my overachieving team this year.
Well, I mean, if they're going to be your overachieving team, I'll take it.
I really do.
I will.
I was saying to him,
Jake Garner. That's it.
yeah.
Canes have Jake Garner now.
Oh, that was a big acquisition for them, actually. But anyway, continue. What were you saying?
well, we'll get to them. but
okay.
I just see the Flyers being my big overachieving team. Again, they went and did what they had to do this offseason. And again, if Carter Hart is healthy and plays 70 to 72 games this year, the Flyers are going to be a problem team for the league. You know, I really do believe that. I was saying to him on the way here that I am nervous to play against them this year. You know, even in Philadelphia, where we usually own you guys. And opposite for us. You guys own us in Pittsburgh.
Not that much anymore. Ever
No.
since you changed coaches, it's kind of been like back and forth. We may win a game in Philly. You'll win a game in Pittsburgh. We'll win an OT game in Pittsburgh and an OT game in Philly. And, you know, call that a season. That's pretty much really the only highlights from last year. That and my personal one is also trashing Buffalo and sending them down to the bottom abyss. I hate Buffalo. So it's like they're one of the teams that people question.
Why
No,
should
it's not
they?
Ramsey. It's Boyer.
I take him too.
Sorry.
Good play by
Anyway.
Boyer.
Yeah,
But-
Dean's just over here shaking. He says, like, why does he hate Buffalo? It's like, you got to understand, when I was a kid growing up in the early 2000s, Buffalo used to beat us. That was actually when they were good, and they had Ryan Miller when he was young. And so it's like, I fucking hate the Sabres ever since
I was
then.
gonna say
So anytime
something,
we
but I
can
just
trash
realized you
them,
were that
it's a
young,
good
too.
day for me. So thank God they suck ass. But anyway.
Right.
All right, on to
Well, I still
When
have.
I was a kid in
Oh,
the early
go,
2000s,
Martin.
I
I
was in freaking high school.
I have the Devils at 4.
you have the Devils at 4.
To me,
Okay.
they're. I'm not saying it because I'm a Devils fan. I think they're going to overachieve this year specifically. They went out, got three really two big names. Then they got Simmons and they got Gusev. Gusev is the one iffy contract for us. He's coming straight into the league. We don't know what he's going to do, but based on what I'm seeing in preseason on the line with Hughes, it's terrifying.
Well, is Hughes going to make the team?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
have no doubt in that now.
I think he's going to start. I think he's going to be on opening day roster.
I believe he's going to be opening day second
Which-
line centerman.
Yeah, I mean, when he was drafted, I figured he was going to be a kid that was going to develop a year or two, mainly probably only about a year. But, I mean, again, we're talking preseason. He looked good in preseason. Preseason NHL hockey is a lot different.
It's
But
different,
preseason is when the young guys come up and try to earn a spot, though.
Well, yeah.
That's the thing.
Of course. But, I mean, again, you're not playing the starters. So you're not playing all of the starters. So it's a different
Think about it
story.
this way: we went out and signed Gusev from the Russian league. No one in the
That-
NHL
I mean-
really knew much of him. They gave him a lot of money.
Well, we'll see what
he could also
turns
not
into.
make the
but,
team.
But
That's
also,
the
here's the thing about Wayne Simmons. Wayne Simmons has absolutely his productivity has sank to like the depths of hell since he left Philadelphia, and I don't know if it may boost back up. It may not.
What do you have, 2 points in Nashville?
Yeah, it was not really impressive when he left. Actually, we won the deal, and we traded the guy that we traded for him.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah, and then Dallas wound up letting him go, and he signed with
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Yeah. But I will say I don't know about Simmons. He's a question mark for me. Subban isn't a question mark.
I think we're starting
He's
to see
not.
the Wayne Simmons that I personally expected.
The
He's
drop
not
off.
that good. He isn't that good. Like, all his goals are garbage goals. you sit in front of the net, you're going to get 30 goals a game, especially when the goaltender's giving up fat rebounds like most of them do. If you know how to utilize that position, you're going to be very successful at it. And Wayne Simmons is very good at it because he knows how to utilize that position and his weight. And also, you're looking at the kind of play that he has, which is very physical. He's not a big guy.
He's not a big guy, but
his body's taking a beating.
His body's taking a beating, but he still gets in there.
He still gets in there. But you're seeing his production drop off because he's not healthy. Not saying that he's hurt, but he's not healthy. He's hurting. His body's not the same. His body's not holding up. And you can tell. You can see it last year.
Which I see the reason why the Devils only got him for the 1-year deal. I know they overpaid him by much. I feel like a $3 million deal would have been ideal. But at the same time, Devils have money to throw away at people.
Might as well use it.
Might as well use it at this point. To me, $5 million is not the end of the world for a 1-year deal with a player that Wayne Simmons could be and
has been in the past.
Has been in the past, thank you. But I remember him from the Flyers being the gritty guy, getting in people's faces and scoring a goal out of nowhere.
Also, you have to keep in mind who he played on his line with. He played with Braden Shen, who actually, he may not have always been up to snuff on that line, but he was a big contributor at times.
He was better on the power play than he was 5-on-5.
Yes. And then also he did play with Couturier for a period of time when Couturier was being debated on whether or not he was a bust. So, but he had line mates that helped contribute to his game. Will he have that in New Jersey is the real question. He might.
Only time will tell.
I'm not saying he won't, but we'll see.
He's going to be right where he should have been all along. He's a third-line player.
And time is something that we are also getting close to running out of.
So, all right.
Let's get
this. Moving on to the top three.
We're in overtime right now.
That's all right. Free hockey. All right, on the top three, we go to the number 3 spot, and I have the New York Islanders sitting here.
That's where I have them.
I think the Islanders will play very well, and I think that they won't get to second place like they did last year, but they will take third place.
Yeah. I'm going to Philadelphia Flyers here.
I'm actually going to be agreeing with Mikey here, which I feel bad saying it. Yeah.
Actually, I have them between 1 point. Obviously, I can't have the Flyers in front of the Penguins, which I could see happening, but.
If that happens, I'm going to cry laughing. You know that,
could,
right?
Because I have written down on my phone that I took a picture of. I do have the Flyers finishing above Pittsburgh, but just can't do it. I can't say it. Can't do it. I can't make my official pick that way.
But I will say I do appreciate you guys selling high on the Flyers.
I really am.
Very much appreciate that.
I really do believe that. But to finish off my top three, I'm going Flyers, Penguins, Caps.
All right then. I have Islanders, Penguins, Caps.
I have
Islanders, Penguins, Caps.
I have Flyers, Penguins, Caps.
So it's
Islanders are another team that's not a joke.
No, they're not.
Not at all.
They're still basically they're an upgrade in goaltending, and
that's all they were missing last year.
That was the thing, though. They were an unexpected team for me. I just don't know if they're going to exactly match that, where they're going to finish second in the Metro again. But
what I think is going to happen for me is I think it's going to be.
They got plenty. They got a ton of secondary scoring too.
Oh, there's no doubt.
Here's what's going to happen though. The thing is what's going to kill it is that it's going to be so close in points that it's literally one game make or break this year for this entire division.
Also, going on to that. So this is the standings I have from 6 and up. I have Islanders at 93 points. I have the Rangers and Devils tied at 94. They have to do an 83rd game of the season to see who makes the wild card. Then I have the Flyers at 95. And then that's where the jump comes in. Penguins have 102 and the Caps at 105.
Yeah, I got third place at 103, second 104, and 108 for the Caps.
We see it almost every year. The Metropolitan Division has the most competition when it comes to playoff time. The teams just fight for the 1 point overtime points.
Here's the thing, though. If it plays out the way I'm thinking, that means only one wild card spot's going to be open to a Metropolitan team. And the problem I say that is because the two Atlantic teams, whichever one comes out, that one's capable of taking that wild card spot. So it's going to be really rough going into this year.
To me, my 7 locks for the playoffs right now, Maple Leafs, Lightning, Bruins, Panthers, Capitals, Penguins, Flyers, and then the Devils Rangers fight for the 4th spot or the 8th spot.
I got Capitals, Penguins, Islanders, Canes, Lightning, Maple Leafs, Bruins, and Panthers all in the playoff spots. Or, sorry, Canadians. Canes actually miss out.
Okay, then. For me, I have Washington, Pittsburgh, and the Islanders in the Metropolitan. And I got Tampa Bay, Toronto, and Florida in the Atlantic. See Boston taking the wild card spot in this scenario. And basically, either the Rangers, Flyers, Hurricanes, or even Devils wind up taking that second wild card spot.
Yeah, my playoffs would be Caps, Penguins, Flyers, Islanders for a wild card, Carolina for a wild card, and then the big 3 out in the Atlantic between Tampa, Toronto, and Boston. I have the Panthers missing out by 2 points.
All
Real
right.
quick,
I think they're
Dylan
close, but not
T.S.
close
chiming in saying, go Devils.
Good to have you.
Nice to see another Devils fan.
Yeah, that's
it's very,
first.
it's exciting.
It is. It's something to behold. It's like a unicorn. It's almost like you
I
guys
never
don't
expected
exist.
how many Ducks fans we get on the show, but
They're loyal.
they are.
Absolutely loyal.
All right,
All
then.
right, close us out, Maddie.
All
There
right,
we go.
guys. So that'll do
show.
it for this edition of the Hockey Happy Hour. Yes, the Flyers lost, but it's only preseason. And we did our predictions of the Eastern Conference. Good luck to all. We are probably dead freaking wrong. And a couple of little notes.
Yes.
One is we do
I'm
have
close.
a stipulation on the line for whoever gets it dead freaking wrong has to
hoping we
suffer
forgot
a
about that.
punishment. No, I did not forget. We are going to own up to that. The 3 is a pink unicorn shirt. The other one is a what was it? The Pocky chip or something like that.
I watched
And
somebody
then-
die eating that on YouTube the other day, and I was kind of nervous.
And then what was the final one? There was one more, which was an enemy jersey.
Enemy
So
jersey.
those are the 3 that people can vote on and see which one they would prefer. We will definitely post that up unless we already have. I forget if we did. Next Tuesday. So next Tuesday, and that transitions in. Next Tuesday, Hockey Happy Hour will be live. I have to double check with Chrome on the times.
Should be about
8:30.
8:30.
It's something like that, yeah. And then once that's all set and ready to go, folks, we will be coming to you live on Tuesday night instead of Thursday. But anyway, so this edition of the Hockey Happy Hour was brought to you by Scansano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. And you can give them a call at 856-889-3434. Visit them on the web at www.scansanosports.com. This is the Hockey Happy Hour on A2DRadio.com. Matt Tensudi, Brian Daly, Mikey Klankov, Dean Sensi, and the sign guy, Ryan Brodo. We will
forget
see
the
you
sign guy.
guys next week right here on A2DRadio.com.
Deuces.
Good night.